ABC News, I'm Susie Rains. Good evening. The Victorian government says it's assessing every room at every hotel involved in its COVID-19 quarantine program before accepting international arrivals again in April. Iskander Razak reports.
Victoria stopped accepting international arrivals in early February after a COVID-19 outbreak in hotel quarantine that forced a 5-day lockdown. But from April the 8th, the system will resume with up to 800 passengers arriving each week initially. Acting Premier James Merlino says he wants some plane seats reserved for foreigners deemed essential for business.
Energy, infrastructure, key industries where we need some of that skill coming in.
The government says it's discussing the idea at National Cabinet. Testing of quarantine guests will also increase from twice a fortnight to 4 times in 14 days.
Residents of 9 public housing towers in Melbourne locked down at the height of the pandemic last year have launched a class action against the state government. Helen Vines reports.
The class action is on behalf of more than 3,000 residents who were locked down for up to 14 days in July last year to prevent the spread of COVID-19. They claim they were subjected to false imprisonment and that authorities failed to give proper consideration to their human rights. Their solicitor, Serene Tafaha, says they believe the lockdown was a breach of process.
The driving force behind this is a rectification.
The defendants include the Deputy Chief Health Officer, Annalise Van Diemen, and the Chief Commissioner of Police. The residents are seeking declarations that the government's actions were unlawful or beyond its powers and damages.
A program to teach consent in Australian schools still hasn't been fully rolled out 6 years after it was first announced. A Senate Estimates Committee has been told just a quarter of this financial year's funding has been spent. The Education Department says more resources will be launched soon, but wouldn't commit to a time frame. Greens Senator Marine Faruqi told the committee delays ignored the concerns of students who'd recently spoken out about sexual assault and harassment in Sydney schools.
Pretty appalled at that, given the situation we are in. We're in a crisis of sexism, misogyny, sexual assault. Here are young women pleading for us to change our education system.
The Minister for Indigenous Australians says his thoughts are with the family and community of an Aboriginal man who's died in custody in New South Wales. 37-year-old Barkindji man Anzac Sullivan is the 4th Aboriginal person in Australia to die in custody in 3 weeks. He died during a police pursuit in Broken Hill last Thursday, and New South Wales Police say it's the subject of a critical incident investigation. Ken Wyatt says he's saddened to hear about the death of any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person, and his government is committed to working with the states to reduce the number of Indigenous people entering the justice system. 2 Pakistani brothers accused of counterfeiting millions of dollars worth of stamps have been granted bail by a Melbourne court. Danny Tran has more.
The brothers Obaid and Shaharia Khan today appeared in the Melbourne Magistrates Court where they're accused of a string of fraud charges. The court heard that the Khans, who were studying at La Trobe University, were arrested after a raid at their home in Brunswick East. Investigators allegedly found 36 boxes of fake stamps as well as $30,000 worth of watches, including a Rolex. Today, police opposed bail, with a detective telling the court that the brothers were a flight risk with access to an unknown and unlimited amount of money. But police were overruled by the magistrate, who granted bail on strict conditions, including surrendering their passports. The men will return to court in June.
The Olympic torch has begun its 4-month journey around Japan ahead of the delayed opening of the 2020 Games in Tokyo. Amber Jacobs reports.
Wearing a white tracksuit, athlete and first runner, Iwashimizu Azusa lit the torch in Fukushima's shadow. She ran surrounded by 14 other members of the 2011 Women's Football World Cup squad, who were also decked in white. The relay begins near the site of the 2011 earthquake, tsunami and the meltdown of 3 nuclear reactors, which resulted in the death of 18,000 people. Japan is determined to deliver the Olympics. 10,000 runners will take part in the relay, ensuring the torch arrives in time for the opening event on July 23rd.
To the weather now. There's a strong wind warning for the central and east Gippsland coasts. A flood watch is in place for South Gippsland and a minor flood warning for the Snowy River. For the state tomorrow, patchy morning fog in the north, isolated light showers about the coast, mild and partly cloudy conditions in the northwest. A medium chance of showers for Melbourne, becoming less likely later tonight. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a top of 22 degrees. Right now in Melbourne it's 17 degrees. ABC News.
Know the story with ABC News Digital. Get the latest breaking news with live notifications whenever you want, wherever you are.
They're considering going to zero emissions.
We'll go ahead as planned.
And abruptly ended the case.
It will help us all get back to normal and back to all the things that we love.
Those are the kind of things that work.
There's hope for a brighter future.
ABC News, Australia's most trusted news source. Head to news.abc.net.au or download the ABC News app.
ABC Sport. AFL.
Get set for the deafening roar. The pent-up emotion is about to flow.
Listen to the crowd roar.
AFL.
Fans are on their feet. Can't believe what they're about to see.
The 2021 AFL Premiership Season.
Grandstand AFL.
We've got a game on our hands here. This is really good, fierce stuff.
This is a fantastic game of football.
Someone told me there was something wrong with our game. I can't see it today. Actually, it's a spectacular contest.
Dreamers, keep on dreaming.
Oh, the impossible angle.
Sinners, keep on sinning.
Don't go anywhere. The theatre of it all.
Winners, keep on winning.
And he dribbles one through and blows a kiss to the crowd.
Just a new day beginning.
Breaks the pace, has a shot, makes no mistake.
Sends it for home, a sublime strike.
Hard against the boundary, that's the classy finish.
That is sensational. Can he slide it through for the finish? Yes, he can.
Wide angle on the paint of 50. May have just snuffed through an incredible goal. Tries the fend off, got him, takes him to ground. Back to that Nui, second don't argue.
Go to your best players, go to your match winners.
Plays on, man down from behind, holding the ball.
Perfect tackle.
It might be a game saver.
Dreamers, keep on dreaming.
Ricochets to Martin, you know the rest. The razzle dazzle has arrived.
That is spectacular.
It's a new day, new day, new day beginning.
Ortberg kicks the goal. Welcome to the big time.
Oh, the great mark. Outside of the boot, Eddie. Oh, he has kicked it. Makes no mistake. Goes back.
Straightens up towards goal and brings it back superbly. Here's that familiar roar. Double fist salute to the crowd. They might have a new fan favourite. He'll snap. He'll go. A ripper from Gripper. Snaps off a single step and bends it through.
Grandstand AFL.
The 2021 AFL Premiership Season.
Dribbles it through and ends the game.
On ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
In Australian sport, there are few rivalries that boast the storied history shared between Carlton and Collingwood. Remarkably, across their 258 clashes since 1897, nothing separates these proud football clubs. Only 9 games into the new season, tonight's clash between the Blues and Magpies is one of high consequence, with history painting a grim picture for the loser. Hello and welcome to the MCG for the start of round 2 of the AFL season on Grandstand AFL. It is Carlton and Collingwood. No late changes for either the Blues or the Magpies. The medical substitutions, Trey Rusco for the Pies, Oscar McDonald again has that honour for the Blues. So Jack Martin and Zach Williams in for Carlton. Williams to play his first game as a Blue. Callum Brown and Steele Sidebottom in for the Magpies. The Blues beaten by Richmond to the tune of 25 points last Thursday night, and Collingwood went down to the Western Bulldogs by 16. Of the last 58 teams to start 0-2 in an AFL season, only 5 have made the finals, and that is how significant the night is for both of these teams, both with legitimate hopes of being there come September. Alistair Nicholson to call the action. We'll get down to my co-caller Matt Clinch at ground level with Mark McClure very shortly. But first, a warm good evening to Adam Ramanauskas. Rama.
Yes, and good evening to our listeners. Always an absolute pleasure to be at the MCG. A beautiful night for football. And Al, you're spot on. We're only round 2, but the importance of this game already for both teams. Carlton were game last week against the Tigers, but it was the Dustin Martin show that probably won it for the Tigers. And then the possessions that the Western Bulldogs had last Friday night against the Collingwoods really destroyed that game, but only 16-point margin. But both teams get some good players back in. Obviously, Jack Martin comes back in and Zach Williams for his first game for the Blues, but still Sidebottom comes back in for the Pies. He's so important with his run, that outside run and carry that they really lacked last week. But round 2, and as you said, going 0-2 is a big task ahead. Collingwood then go up to Brisbane next week, which is a really tough challenge now. And then Carlton will take on Fremantle at the Docklands next Sunday. So you lose this one, and it's starting, it just tightens up. Every game just becomes that much more important. So important both teams get that win tonight and just get their season rolling. Get some form, get some speed into their season.
We had just over 49,000 for the season opener last Thursday night at the MCG. The capacity has been lifted to 75,000 by the Victorian health authorities during the week. Not sure we're going to quite get to that number. They're expecting a crowd of around 55,000, 60,000, but there'll be atmosphere. The crowd is building. We've had rain around Melbourne earlier today. It has cleared in very good conditions for football tonight. Jeremy Howe is going to join us from the Collingwood Football Club pre-game in the lead up to this big clash at the MCG. We can go down to ground level and welcome in for the first time tonight Matt Clinch with Mark McClure.
Thanks very much, Al. Yes, the excitement is certainly building at ground level, hoping of a crowd of, somewhere near 75,000, which would be the capacity for this afternoon. Collingwood defender Jeremy Howe's good enough to join us on Grandstand AFL. Jeremy, welcome. It's exciting to be back and exciting to play in front of hopefully another big crowd tonight.
Oh, it's great. It's exciting. It's good for everyone. It's obviously the rivalry that's been there for so long. But yeah, look, 75,000 is the capacity now, which is great. Great for Victoria and it's great for footy, and we're excited to be a part of it.
It's the type of thing that when you do miss a little patch of footy, you miss moments like this where you come along and you know there's going to be a big crowd watching on a Thursday night. And I guess for Collingwood and Carlton, it's a similar storyline, losing their opening round, that you want to get your season off to a good note.
Yeah, definitely. Me more than anyone, I suppose. Missing pretty much 90% of last year as well. And I hadn't played in front of the crowd since the prelim in 2019. So last week was a good experience, and tonight I'll just be just as excited. And like you said, last week wasn't a great start for us, and we're looking to bounce back tonight.
So what do you take out of last week? Obviously a 16-point loss to the Western Bulldogs. It was as close as 10 points in that third quarter, but probably felt a bit flat by your own standards.
Yeah, definitely. We ended up outscoring them after the first 3 goals of the game, and by a couple of points, but we're under no illusion. We played pretty poorly for the majority of the game. Their pressure and their heat was good. Their midfield kind of got on top of us, and the inside 50 count wasn't great, but we thought we defended quite well. But obviously with ball in hand, we've got to be better.
40 to 60 inside 50s is a big difference, and the speed of the ball coming in is different to what it's been in the past.
It is, and it definitely puts you under the pump. Like, no doubt that the teams are moving the ball a lot quicker. They're probably, it's a bit more uncontested, but then once you get the link up, it's coming in pretty quick, and we were on the back end of that pretty early, but I thought we defended it pretty well.
But your intercept marks last week were down. They chipped it low, they kept it low, and they kept it away from you guys.
Yeah, well, if you've got Darcy Moore down there, if I was on the opposition team, I probably wouldn't kick it near him either. So he was outstanding. But yeah, look, teams are going to be trying to hit the uncontested marks, and they'll probably see us as a bit of an aerial threat. So probably on the ground to win.
Is there a chance Moore can go forward? You don't think so tonight?
I don't think so. No chance.
Why? Because you can't score. There's no score.
Yeah, well, he's one of the best defenders in the comp, so we're just going to back our system in, and if we move the ball like we're meant to, I think our forwards will have an impact.
Do you have a big meeting during the week to work out what you can actually do against the sides who are quick?
Yeah, well, I think, firstly, we've got to get our hands on and be clean. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that last night, and, we got out-tackled, out-pressured, but also they had 150 more touches, so it'd be nice to get our hands dirty, get the hands on the ball, and then we'll go forward with the ball a bit more cleaner.
You know that this is for the title between Collingwood and Carlton, don't you?
You do as well, obviously. Yeah, 127 apiece. Look, it's actually amazing to think that there's been, 258 games, and it's all square, so... Yeah, adds to the excitement, adds to the build-up, and looking forward to it. So someone's going to be in front, maybe, at the end of this one.
The changes from last week, the reduced interchange, and obviously the impact in which the man on the mark, how'd you feel physically at the end of the game? Did you notice it was quicker at half-back?
Yeah, I think so. The man on the mark one's just a really difficult one because it obviously opens it up for the kicker to be able to be a bit more fluent with the ball. You can't move on the mark, so it opens it up. But I think it's also a bit of a mindset shift. People just think that they can move the ball quicker as well. So the game's becoming a bit more open. Forwards are holding length, making the ground look a little bit longer, and it is a little bit harder to defend. But I don't mind it.
And psychologically, from your point of view, having missed such a large chunk of footy last year, was there a moment in the Community Cup game or in round one where you felt like I'm back and I'm able to do whatever I used to do, fly high and take some hangers?
Yeah, I'm still finding my feet, I think. It's, like I said, I've been fortunate enough to not have a long-term injury for my whole career. So missing 17, 18 games last year was a little bit different. But, yeah, look, I'm still finding my feet now, but it's nice to be out, picking up the feel of the group and trying to work with the other backs.
Tell me about the longer quarters. Has it tested you?
Well, it definitely feels longer. It's probably, the 23 to 28 minute mark is kind of, you're starting to feel the pinch, and it's also important that if someone's got the ascendancy, that you either go into that break at the end of it with the ascendancy still in your favour, or try and slow it up a bit.
But you're actually supposed to get tired. This is the game, isn't it?
It is, and that's probably one of the elements we were disappointed with last week, that we felt like we got outworked. So it's something that will improve tonight.
And they were out handballed and out movement, and they had the whole lot going, didn't they? They were really good.
They were good. It's a good sharp enough for up, mate. So look, we're excited. We got a good thing with footy. It's a quick turnaround. So 6 days straight into Carlton. Thursday night footy, 75,000 hopefully, and we'll get it done.
Jeremy Howe's joined us on Grandstand. Finally, Carlton. I mean, their improvement over the last couple of seasons has been well documented. When you look at the midfield battle, it feels like it's going to be a pretty interesting aspect of the game tonight.
Yeah, they always are. Generally, that's where your stars are. But, look, it's going to be really good. They recruited well. They've got some serious speed in the team now, and they've got a really good balance. So we reviewed them pretty well. We got some good vision out of the Richmond game last week, and we'll implement that this week.
Enjoyed it to go. He plays his 100th game. Highlights galore, I'm sure. Is there anything done, especially in the team meetings leading up to that?
He's got highlights for days, the kid. But, it's a great build-up. 100 games, it's a major achievement, and one that we're celebrated throughout the week. And he's excited more than anyone. He's got friends and family here, so hopefully we can get it done for him.
So if Buck said to you, midfield or forward, what would you be saying?
For him?
Yeah.
Ask him.
Yeah, he probably wants, if we're getting inside 50s, he wants to be forward. If they're not getting inside 50s, he wants to be in the mid. So if he's playing forward, it means we're getting it in there.
Jeremy, great to see you. Best of luck tonight against the Blues, and thanks for joining us on ABC Grandstand.
Cheers,
and we're going to replay that to the goey.
No worries.
Thanks, Al. Great to have Jeremy Howe joining us on Grandstand AFL.
Good on you, lads. I don't think Howie's too concerned about that. I'm sure he's let Jordan know all about it himself. Sounds like he's having quite the party tonight, Jordan Nagowie. Collingwood fans will be hoping he has a party tonight, because he brings match-winning quality when he's on Adam Ramanassis.
No doubt he brings. He's the X factor within the team. You'd like him in both areas of the ground, forward and midfield. But I think Jordan's going to work out himself what he wants to still be as a player. It's been a lot of inconsistency throughout his career so far. We know his best is absolutely at the top of the tree, but we want to see that as a follower of the game. We want to see that more often, because he can do the amazing out there.
Thousands of fans we're hearing are still outside waiting to get into the MCG. Lengthy delays as a result of the QR code check-in system that they've got in place. Now, Stuart Fox, the CEO of the MCC, made it pretty clear that people needed to get here early given the system in place. It would appear that not everyone has heeded that advice, and still many waiting to get into the MCG. We'll go down to Tim Hodges at ground level, Hodgie, because the crowd does appear to be building quite significantly, and we've got a really good night for football. Welcome to you, mate.
Hello, Al. Hello, boys. Nice to be with you. It is a spectacular night. There's no wind. It's clear and still, 18 degrees, magnificent conditions for footy, and it's an awesome night to come to the game. Look, the MCC is telling us they're expecting around 55 to 60,000. I think they might even crack that they are allowed 75,000 tonight, and there's still, as you said, Al, thousands of people. You can see them under the bottom deck still coming through the turnstiles. It's been a nightmare, to be honest, getting in with the all-new scanning process commencing tonight. The mind boggles how Sellers would have gone getting in earlier. Just repeating, no late changes. The medical subs for the second straight week, it's Oscar McDonald for the Blues, Trey Rusco for the Pies. But, it's just a fantastic atmosphere, and I think it's going to be a monstrous crowd, and certainly one of the biggest in world sport in 12 months.
Good on you, Hodgie. I think you're lucky that Sellers and Clinchy have made their way upstairs to the commentary box, and Sellers isn't still down at boundary level after that little clip, Sellers. But you were escorted in by Clinchy, although you did have to navigate some difficult traffic, which is a good sign because people are keen to get back to the footy.
Sometimes he doesn't see the right lane. Sometimes.
Were you backseat driving?
Yeah, of course it was.
We certainly had our moments. I don't know what's more nervous, traffic with Sellers or watching the Blues. We'll find out.
How do you see it tonight, Sellers?
Well, it's a championship between the clubs, and 125 or 127 each. And that's got a bit of feeling about it, and there's something to play for in that area there. And both sides got beaten last week. You just don't want to go down 2 in a row. That's the big key. Someone will come out victorious and the other one will go down. And I tell you what, and there'll be a bigger crowd than you actually think, because if there's so many outside and you have a look now, there's probably 60 in here now. Nearly 60 in here now at this stage, so there should be more.
It's always big, Carlton and Collingwood. It feels really big at the MCG tonight. Here's Matt Clinch on Grandstand AFL.
Grundy and Pitnet to do battle in the middle of the ground as they're underway. One of footy's great rivalries. Grundy gets the clearance for Collingwood. Gets a hand pass forward. Williams will be able to pick it up for the Blues, though. His first touch. Gets the hand pass to Sard with a long raking kick. Puts it inside the 50. A chance in front position was Madge, and he tried to mark at his chest. It allowed Martin to come across and spoil it out of play.
I think most forwards would be saying you've got to spoil the ball from the intercept markers coming through. So, Moore, Howe, those sort of guys, you've got to punch them away.
Carlton heading to the punt road end in this opening quarter. Thrown in 40 metres out from the Blues goal. Pitnet wins down the tap. Pendlebury kicked it off the ground, but only as far as Nunes, 60 from home. Sends it long, Moore underneath. Takes the mark.
First one.
As Harry Mackay tried to come late to spoil.
Darcy Moore goes short. Madgen marks in the corridor in defence for Collingwood. He goes laterally to Howe, who we heard from in the pre-game. He comes out to the right half-back flank. Tyler Brown takes the mark, plays on near the interchange. Dangerous kick back infield's a shocker. Marked by Murphy of Carlton on the AFL logo. He's got options in the middle. Walsh is one of those. He takes the mark. A hand pass to Williams through the middle. Low kick inside 50. That's why they got you. Right onto the chest of Levi Casbolt, 40 from goal directly in front.
You look at the Tyler Brown kick. Sometimes you just got to kick the grass and let your opponent, let your teammate run onto it. Really dangerous kick back into the middle of the ground, intercepted by Murphy. But spot on, Al. That's why Zach Williams is at this club. One, the speed, no doubt, but the kicking ability inside forward 50 to Carlton's tall forwards is what he'll be paid his money for.
Levi Casbolt to the punt road end. 45 metres out. His kick is not as aesthetically pleasing as that of Zach Williams. It's out of bounds on the full. Free kick, Collingwood right back pocket. Howe moves it in quickly to Noble, who's clearing out through defensive 50 to the wing.
Such an anticlimax after a brilliant pass from Williams. Nunes on the wing, tackled by Taylor Adams. With assistance from Dacos.
It's got to be better. Like directly in front, 35 metres out. No wind. And he puts it out of bounds on the full. Like, he's worked so hard. He's got to be better than that, Levi.
Grundy wins down the tap for Collingwood to Tyler Brown. Right half back, kicks to the wing. Mychek couldn't take the mark, spoiled down. Walsh onto it, gets the hand pass away to Williams. Another possession coming up for him. Missed his intended target in the middle of the ground, though. A chance for Setterfield, hand pass to Williams, slipped over, got problems. Thomas lays the tackle, holding the footy. Collingwood take the advantage. Sidebottom with the hand pass to Pendlebury. He kicks to Elliott at left half forward.
Plays on quickly, kicks Collingwood to DeGoey. Marks on his chest, 35 from goal to the left of centre in game 100. A chance to strike early.
We had two options, Sellers, going inside forward 50, Mychek or DeGoey. A beautiful pass. This is, again, it could be the return of the key forward, where they're getting a lot more space now inside forward 50. Definitely in round one, that was the case.
Been a lot of talk about where he should play, midfield or forward. Collingwood fans say forward. DeGoey kicks the opening goal of the night. 3 minutes in. Collingwood won straight. Carlton yet to score on Grandstand AFL, your experts, Mark McClure and Adam Ramanaskas.
Well, Collingwood made a mistake early in the quarter and Casbolt missed. Well, guess what? Carlton made a mistake in the actual in that little moment there where they kicked in the middle of the ground, and guess what? You get hurt by DeGoey. And also young what's his name? Jamie Elliott grabbed the ball. He didn't have a ping at goal. He actually picked out a person, hit him low and hard, and stops the intercept marking. And we've seen it both sides do exactly the same thing, but one kicked the goal and one didn't, and that's the difference.
Mark McClure and Adam Ramanaskas with you on Grandstand AFL.
It's just interesting to see what teams are going to do now, because the ball moves so quick through the arcs. The teams fold back and allow that fast ball movement. At the moment, I think it's got the coaches guessing a little bit.
Bounce back in the middle, Grundy and Pitnet. Pitnet wins down the tap to Cripps, gets the hand pass back to Pitnet. Carlton inside the 50, Mackay in front position. Moyet lays the spoil. Fisher with the hand pass to Murphy, to Mackay, to Cripps, the fend off at 50. Gets around Pendlebury, but not Sire. Gets the hand pass to Williams in time. Kicks to the pocket, Martin on the lead. He marks at his chest.
He was strong there, Cripps. Held his ground, got 2 or 3 tackles he broke. And that's what he's there for. And then the little pass inside was just beautiful.
With his own dusty moment on the MCG, Paddy Cripps.
You got to try take Paddy Cripps' arm. I know that's easier said than done. Paddy's, he's a massive unit at 195 playing in the midfield.
Jack Martin starts on the angle, curls it across the body and puts the first through for the Blues. Locks things up after 5 minutes here at the MCG. 1 or 2 inclusions for Carlton alongside Zach Williams. And making an immediate impact for Carlton.
And just to follow up on that, you see it so often with Cripps that he's able to fight through the tackles because teams go at the hips. You've got to try and grab that arm because Paddy loves to. He gets the hands up in the air and he's so strong. He's obviously taller than most other mids. But again, I love the composure from Zach Williams. He was, 45 metres out. Could have easily had a shot. But lowered the eyes again, Jack Martin. Give your teammates some confidence. You love seeing that.
Good crowd in at the MCG. There would have to be best part of 60,000. Pitnet and Grundy to do battle in ruck. Grundy beaten by Martin and English last week. Up they rise. Ricochets off the head of Pitnet. In the middle of the ground, Pendlebury gets it, tackled by Dow. Got boot to ball out towards the southern wing. Murphy's tap out towards Williamson. He's got Maynard for company. Sire bumps into him, picks up the ball for Collingwood, off to Crisp. He kicks towards half forward, wanted side bottom, couldn't take it. Ed Curno's little soccer towards the boundary line, didn't get there. Crisp farms a little hand pass along the ground. It's near the line and Cripps has taken it over. A boundary throw in at left half forward for Collingwood. 65 from goal. It's on the southern side of the MCG.
Scores level at a goal apiece. Tagoe and Martin, the goal scorers. Thrown back in. Grundy in front position. Pitnet from behind taps it down to Cripps. Couldn't get a clearing possession. Sire squeeze a kick to half forward. Nunes waits for the bounce. Tagoe lays the tackle. Hand pass to Ed Curnow holding the footy. And Collingwood will take the advantage. Sire quickly to side bottom into the pocket. Elliott caught behind and Plowman was held. And the Blues will get retreat on the last line in the right back pocket. Oh, he looks to switch play to Wiedering. The best and fairest of last season runs onto it and with a right boot clears the defensive 50. Up to the wing to Mackay and Moore. One of the great battles of the night. Noble crumbs at front and centre for Collingwood. Gets the hand pass to Pendlebury. To Tyler Brown on the AFL logo. Took too long. Fogarty with a tackle. Hand pass straight to Pendlebury though. Collingwood into attack with a spiralling kick and Wiedering in front of Mason Cox takes the mark and he's off.
He plays onto the members' wing, dumped after a kick downfield. Darcy Moore had intercepted, but it's going to be a Carlton free kick. Mackay to take it. Centre wing members' side. Harry Mackay will go for distance with a kick towards the 50. Pitnet's in the pack. Casbolt as well. It's off the hands of Roughhead. Rove by Howe. Hand pass to Maynard. Off to Noble. His kick out of defence is out on the full. Over defence. It bounced over the dugout.
That's in.
And it's gone down the race, Rammer.
Yep.
Someone's hurled it back. That was a Cameron Smith-like pass from the race to get it back to the boundary umpire. It's a free kick to Carlton near the interchange to be taken by Nunes.
Scores level after 8 minutes. Nunes took his time and Hoskin Elliott charged at him long towards Pitnet, who juggles the mark in the left forward pocket. Against Brodie Grundy, it's a great mark. And one of the more intriguing battles of the night.
It was actually Jordan Roughhead it was. Right next to Roughhead. Took a great mark. Grundy was there as well. There were 2 big ones there and he beat both of them.
Hasn't kicked a goal in his career, Mark Pitnet in game number 22. He still hasn't kicked a goal. Out to the right and a minor score. The Blues leading by that behind through 9 minutes in the opening term.
Jeremy Howe to kick in down at the punt right end of the ground. Goes down the corridor. Darcy Moore marks and plays on immediately and kicks into the middle. Superb play, Collingwood. Elliott marks. Hoskin Elliott next in line. He's at right half forward. He takes the mark Open forward line. Myercheck and Sidebottom break to the pocket. Kick goes over Sidebottom's head, lands at Myercheck's bootlaces and ricochets out of play 20 from goal right forward pocket.
It was almost the perfect play for the Pies there. Darcy Moore took that mark, played on straight away up the middle of the ground. So dangerous.
Toss back inside. Collingwood's attacking 50. Grundy in front position. Palms it down. Rolled through the legs of Cripps. Sire couldn't get a clean possession away. Dow could. Kicks to the wing. Good mark. Darcy Moore.
That second one.
So that's another good intercepting mark against Harry Mackay. Comes inboard to Pendlebury. Pendlebury can go short to Taylor Adams. Still inside the centre square. Carlton have pushed numbers back inside their defensive 50. Adams looks to the pocket. Elliott on the lead. He takes the mark on his chest. Plowman lost him. And Elliott using his speed to perfection.
So what Harry Mackay is doing right now in the marking contest, he's getting himself too far under the ball. So he needs to start again, really. He's starting position now. He needs to start jumping into the ball because Moore is just pushing him under the ball. 2 intercept marks already in this quarter and we're 10 minutes in. So that becomes a real issue if they're going to continue to kick the ball to Harry Mackay tonight.
Well, if I was Harry Mackay, I'd be taking him back to the square.
Agree.
And hang on to him so he stays out of the play.
Agree.
And take him where he doesn't want to go. That's where I'd be taking him.
2 goals last week for Jamie Elliott to give Collingwood the lead. He steers it straight through the middle. And the Magpies lead by 5 points. 2 straight 12 to Carlton, 1-1-7. 11 minutes gone, opening term. Here's Sellers and Adam Romanascus.
We can already see the evidence of Darcy Moore's intercept marking, and it's been an incredible thing for them over the last 6 or 8 months before he came here. But this year, he's been different again. Intercept mark after intercept mark. And if you're the player who plays on him, you've got to sacrifice your game. You've got to take him somewhere else. You've got to punch the ball away. Don't even think you're going to go for a mark unless you're actually on your own. Yep. Those sort of things you've got to do. And then let someone else take the long, tall mark down the line, but you've got to take him back to the square and keep him in the square and then make some space because you're as quick as he is and all of a sudden he just keeps setting them up and setting them up and setting them up. That's 2 goals that come from him already. Darcy Moore in the half-back flank.
Brodie Grundy's come off the ground for a rest and Mason Cox is into the middle. Nathan Buckley said they would have liked to have got Cox into the ruck more last week against the Dogs. He has a go here. Adams, the clearance on the left boot for Collingwood towards centre-half forward. Fine mark. Callum Brown playing in front of Doherty. Palmed it down and clutched it 1-on-1. A hand pass to Maynard. Maynard, a decisive thrust inside the 50. Myercheck back, couldn't mark. Petreski-Seaton Rose, dreadful little kick back towards goal. Sard has to try and clean up towards the pack. Sire crashed that pack at centre-half forward for Collingwood. Crisp to Quaynor, a wobbler into the forward pocket. Myercheck, outstanding use of the body. Edged out his opponent, dived to his right and pulled it in left forward pocket. Tight angle, 20 from goal.
Yeah, well, that's an outstanding mark. We've been singing the praises of Darcy Moore, but Jacob Wiedering has been in unbelievable form, obviously last year, and was terrific last week against Tom Lynch. So a great contested mark against one of the elite defenders.
Brodie Myercheck has become Collingwood's Mr. Reliable, and he bends through his first of the night and Collingwood's third at the 12-minute mark of the first quarter. The Magpies 3 straight, Carlton 1-1-7 on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport.
And you look at the handball receive in the middle of the ground. So the handball receive went to Maynard. He's come off the back of the square. So you can see Collingwood now are trying, after last week, obviously the criticism that they faced was about their slow ball movement. Tonight, it's all about, particularly through the middle of the ground so far, just get the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling as quickly as we can. Let's not go sideways and backwards. Let's continue to push the ball forward. So that's been really evident in the first 13 minutes of this game.
Adam Romanascus with you on Grandstand AFL. Let us know if you've made your way in. 0437 774 774 as the crowd continues to build for this Thursday night round 2 fixture. Casbolt and Cox. Cox wins down the tap for Collingwood. Casbolt comes up with it. Big Mason's over him. Almost fell into his back. Umpire and blow his whistle in the end. Ed Kerno with the clearance. Hand pass to Walsh. Kicks to half forward. Good pass to Martin on the lead. Veers out to the right. Pokes the kick to Fisher, who marks 45 metres out from goal, out to the left.
So last week we saw a lot of guys at this distance get really close to the man on the mark and then veer out, whether they're a left footer or a right footer. So it'll be very interesting to see what Zach Fisher does here. Oh, his handball.
Gives the hand pass to Wiedering.
That's a good
Tougher
idea.
shot from 55. It misses to the left. Collingwood lead by 10 points. Not sure about that tactic, sellers?
Absolutely not.
Down to Tim Hodges on the boundary.
A 3-minute break for Brodie Grundy on the bench, and he's straight back onto the ground, and he was itching to get back on. He's the kind of guy that hates to come to the bench, but he's just had 3 minutes off, and he's back in, and the ball's coming towards him.
Jeremy Howe is supplying the ball. Grundy and Wiedering. Grundy in front, couldn't mark. Wiedering gets a hold of it. He's tackled by Thomas, took him on, just got boots a ball that dribbles out of play. It will be thrown back in at left half forward for Carlton in front of the Olympic stand.
I don't mind them trying things. I don't mind them actually having a go, but that was just far too orchestrated. And he was on the rush, and they rushed at him, and all of a sudden he missed his kick-up.
10-point lead to Collingwood. 15 played opening quarter. Friday night footy at the MCG. Thursday night even. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Crisp, a hand pass away to Adams. Adams a bounce near the interchange, and a balk around Sard, and a barrel that didn't come off. An awkward one towards the 50. Out comes Plowman, takes the mark in defence for the Blues.
Plowman goes very short to Petreski-Seaton, not the required distance, so he has to retreat back, and Doherty takes the mark in the right back pocket. Further to right half back by foot, and Gibbons takes the mark. What a great success story he's been for the Carlton Footy Club. Always looking to dance Tyler Brown on the mark and squeeze his kick to Petreski-Seaton. Gathers the half volley. Fellow brother Cal lays the tackle. No whistle. Umpire lets them scrap at ground level. Quaynor slides in. And Walsh is able to lock up the footy for the Blues. Left half forward to throw up for the Magpies, leading by 10.
He's claiming the mark, Petreski-Seaton.
It's a half volley,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It's a half volley, clearly.
60 out from the Collingwood goal. Grundy the tap down underneath at Adams, immediately tackled, got boots the ball into the middle. Dow gets it for Carlton, hand pass to Gibbons. Gibbons from the wing kicks Carlton to the edge of 50. Howe's there. He collects for Collingwood, fires it back out towards the wing precisely to Crisp. He's near the boundary line, defensive side of the southern wing for Collingwood. He looks infield, sees little on offer, sends his kick around the boundary. Callum Brown is there, pulls in the mark. Not sure he got both bites inside the field of play. He did. Fans thought it might have been a juggle, but a very fine piece of control in front of Petreski-Seaton, who isn't allowed to move on the mark, and gaining metres. Brown comes and kicks it forward, but it's turned over straight to Doherty on defensive 50.
Switches inside the defensive 50 to Plowman.
He moved.
He did. Hoskin Elliott on the mark. Plowman called the play on, can return it back to Doherty in the right back pocket. Now shows some dash around the boundary line.
Great
Kicks
kick
to the southern wing. It's a good pass. Fogarty takes the mark. Defensive side of the southern wing. Inboard to Petreski-Seaton. Just took the mark as Dacos was lurking. Turns onto his left. Good vision. Murphy's free. Can he turn this to attack? Quickly with the hand pass to Walsh. Away to Cripps. Ran into Howe. Shovels a hand pass forward to Dow. He works the hand pass back to Murphy. Beautiful from Carlton. Over the top to Gibbons in the pocket. Nice sidestep around Moore. And the finish is even better. Michael Gibbons with a top shelf finish. The Blues ran the gauntlet by hand and needed a man to finish. And Michael Gibbons was up to the challenge. Collingwood's lead cut back to 4 at the 18-minute mark of the opening term. Collingwood 3 straight 18 to the Blues, 2-2-14.
Well, they chanced their arm. They moved the ball quickly. They passed it without anyone standing on the mark and going back. They just kept it going forward and the handball. And then on the end was Gibbons in the forward pocket. Now, he actually made a mess of a kick out in the side before, but not that one. That was beautiful, right through the middle. But it was done because they had some dare. They took the opposition on. They moved the ball quickly. And on the end of it, now there's only 2 goals to 3.
On the SMS, Moose has got an ear over us at Lake King in WA. Says, great to hear the roar of the crowd again. Thanks, Moose. Bill reckons the Blues are being outdone in many marking contests at the moment. 0437 774 774 is the number if you want to get in touch with us in the grandstand box. Bounce favours Grundy, not recalled. He tapped it down. Williams goes through, can't take it. Walsh slips over, gathers though. Defensive hand pass to Ed Kerno, who kicks to the wing. Madgen there with a much smaller Gibbons. No one marked. Tyler Brown gave it off to Dacos. Dacos, defensive side of the southern wing, kicks to Hoskin Elliott, who marks back with the flight. He's 2 long kicks from goal, southern side of the ground.
Looks to come inboard. Side bottom takes the mark on his chest. Good to see Steele side bottom back,
Super
and that's
kick.
a better pass. As Jamie Elliott comes out and marks on his chest, but the class of Steele side bottom.
Yeah, no doubt super kick, but I was watching the forward 50, you watch Elliott's lead. He goes out wide, then comes back through the middle of the ground. Just kept going, found the space. So he made side bottom kick it to the space, but Elliott saw where the space was and just went really hard. Plowman, obviously, that bit taller, just couldn't go with him.
Pretty much directly in front, 40 metres out for his second. Jamie Elliott finishes straight over the goal umpire's hat. And Collingwood with the immediate response to restore a 10-point advantage. They're 4 straight, 24 to Carlton 2-2-14, 20 minutes gone, opening turn.
I think Dacos' kick to the wing was just a brilliant kick. That was the one on the left foot over the top. And you look at Dacos as his dad. Jesus, similar. Wow, they just are brilliant.
I think, obviously, we're one round in, but kicking is going to be so important this year. Like with the way the ball is moving already in the opening round, even tonight, it's moving quick again. Now, if you're a good kick and you're able to use it, you're going to be able to cut the game apart. So you look there, Dacos, as Sal has mentioned, and then still side bottom going inside forward 50. Up the other end of the ground, Zach Williams twice already going inside forward 50. So those kickers in today's game, in this year, 2021, are going to be vital.
Adam Ramanauskas on Grandstand AFL. Nice bounce in the middle. Tapped down by Grundy. Dacos couldn't take it. Williams did. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. Holding on free kick against Quaynor. Fisher will get it. Walsh wants to play to advantage, but he's caught. No. It's going to come back.
And McKay's left the ground at this stage. They've taken him off. Or he's been he's slightly injured.
Martin a deep target along with Casbolt. Fisher's going to load up, kick it as far as he can to about 15 from goal. Big early fly, Roughhead didn't mark. Fogarty roves, hand pass in the pocket. Gibbons, did he keep it in? No. A boundary throw in, left forward pocket for Carlton, 30 from goal. The Magpies 4 straight, Carlton 2-2 through 21 minutes.
And tackle count very much in Collingwood's favour. Carlton have only laid 3 tackles for 21 minutes. Collingwood got 12.
Thrown back in onto the Olympic stand. Carlton in attack. Grundy wins down the tap to Crisp. The hand pass to Noble to Grundy. Too wide for Dacos and over the boundary line.
Just applying that pressure through the middle of the ground. 3 tackles in 20 minutes of football.
Well, they've used the ball well, Collingwood.
Yeah,
they've hit targets,
no
so it's hard probably in that sense, but still not enough.
Collingwood with 3 of the last 4 goals. Williams sharked it beautifully from the tap down. His shot on goal, he just landed over the boundary line. So out on the full, the Collingwood free kick up against the right behind post, leading by 10 points.
This is an old-fashioned game in a sense. It's come back to one-on-one all over the ground, and no one can deny that. It's just so quick, and you need to have your man. There's no hanging off anyone.
More kicks to the pack. Wiedering up to spoil away from Myercheck. Rove by side bottom. Got a shove in the back. That only pushed him into open space. He dishes it off to De Goey. De Goey kicks to half forward. Elliott's on a searching lead. The ball bounces awkwardly in front of him. Out of play. Right half forward for the Pies.
There's the perfect opportunity there, Sellers. So Wiedering just pushed him straight. Lay the tackle.
I agree.
Just lay the tackle.
Boundary throw in. Front of the members stand. 70 around from the Collingwood goal. Grundy in front, knocks it back towards the boundary line. Pendlebury is being held. Pendlebury's 200th match at the MCG. Adams takes it quickly, moves it inside 50. And De Goey marks in the right forward pocket, 40 out, hard angle to the right.
So I've been watching this matchup. So inside forward 50, Plowman's with Elliott, but it's Petreski-Seaton with De Goey, which is probably not the right. That's not the right matchup.
No way.
De Goey kicked the opener in his 100th game. Can he add a second approaching quarter time? The kick near side, but not missing by a lot. So Collingwood's first blemish comes at the 23-minute mark. The Magpies 4-1-25. Carlton 2-2-14.
Well, Jeremy House spoke glowingly of him. And let me say this to you. Petreski-Seaton's not the right matchup at all.
Said he was a man for the highlight reels, Geordie De Goey, and he didn't mind his own work. Saad with a long kick out of defence. Cripps up flying, couldn't hang on to the mark at the last moment. On hands and knees, Cripps trying to knock it out for Collingwood. Advantage taken over the shoulder. Quaynor with a kick inside the 50. Elliott at the back just couldn't hang on. He battles with Saad at ground level. Saad at the last line slid in beautifully, gathered in front of Mason Cox. And the short pass to Nunes in the left back pocket. He kicks to Plowman, still inside the corridor in the defensive 50.
He goes out towards right half back and Williamson. He goes back on the mark and assesses. No quick movement here from Carlton out of defence. A low ball is neat, though. He found the right option. At right half-back, Walsh wheels and goes. He kicks to the wing, and it's out of bounds on the full. A good lead from Martin. He went to honour that lead, but missed him. And it's a free kick to Collingwood. Centre wing out of side. Moore takes it quickly. Goes to Grundy. Grundy between wing and half forward for the Magpies. He goes short. They've worked it nicely here, the Pies, and Tyler Brown's in possession. He's at left half forward with the Pies leading by 11.
He's got Cox and Elliott deep. Mason makes his move in that direction. Jones right there with him. Nudged him underneath. Free kick for a hold.
He had his arm.
Was it there?
Yeah, he had his arm. And they pick on that all the time.
He started the back and just a tug at the right arm. It wasn't a lot in it, but it was enough for the umpire to notice.
It's a free kick. They want the forwards to jump at the ball.
Of course they do.
Left forward pocket, 25 metres out. Mason Cox, a couple last week, hits the post. Slams into the left goal post. A chance for a goal late in the quarter. 25 minutes gone. It's Collingwood leading by 12 points.
Wiedering down at the city end of the ground brings it back into play. A low kick to half-back. Plowman takes the mark at full stretch. Then beside, he goes short to Nunes. Slow and methodical at the moment, Carlton. The ball movement was a real feature last week against Richmond. It did get turned over at times, but they moved it quickly. Kick to the pack, Mackay, and it knocked away from him. Hoskin Elliott Rhodes near the boundary line, goes short to side bottom. Collingwood in possession. Kick into the corridor, a good one to Goey. Front point of the square. He thought about playing on. Now measures his pass to the mighty Mychek, who marks on his chest 45 from goal directly in front.
They're getting caught between the arcs, the Blues at the moment. Now you look there and side bottom coming back inside in the corridor. He had Crisp to choose from. He had Goey to choose from. And then really the Carl players are trying to roll back, but the ball movement's so quick at the moment that there's that much space inside forward 50. Goey, a beautiful then hit up of Mychek directly in front.
Mychek with one to his name already to make it a 3-goal game. He kicks from inside 50. You could barely hit a drop punt better. Went through it half post height. Collingwood with the early jump on Carlton, 5-2-32 to 2-2-14. 27 played first term grandstand AFL.
Yeah, they're actually hitting it early. They just, as soon as they see someone on their own, they go bang. They don't think it, double think it, or do anything like that. They just move the ball quickly, and they're getting results. 5 goals. Mychek's got 2. Elliott's got 2, and DeGoey's got 1. So their forward line's feeding well. Mychek's always been a good player since he's been to Collingwood. Sensational. He's the old-fashioned centre forward who works hard, does all the hard things, and leads up to the ball carrier. And that's what you need to do. And they do it really well.
We'd love to hear from you on the SMS 0437 774 774, like Roy and Bendigo has done. The Magpies play with their heads high when Steele Sidebottom is on the paddock. Certainly happy to have him after the turbulence on and off the field 2020. Collingwood out by 18 points. Back in the middle, Pitnet and Grundy. Pitnet wins down the tap. Crisp over around the footy for Collingwood. Little toe poke to half forward for Carlton, although Adams leads the foot race for Collingwood. Hand pass too slick for Grundy. Murphy bumped off it. Well done by Adams to regain the footy. Hand pass to Cripps. Kicks to a vacant half forward line. It skids along the turf to Cox. Tackle, dumped. Great work by Jones. Jones turns to the umpire and he is rewarded. It's a feat in itself to bring Mason Cox down, and he gets the hand pass away to Sard.
Sard bombs it off half back. It's going to stay in play. Looked like it was hovering near the boundary line. Didn't go beyond. Maynard intercepted. Kicks back to half forward. Oh, Sard intercepts in front of Sidebottom. Superb. A hand pass to Dow. Off to Murphy. Now away to Doherty through the centre corridor. Kicks to centre half forward. Fisher marks. Who's next? He wants to play on. One way then the other. He gets around Howe. 50 out. Mackay.
That's the way to move it.
Fisher hits Mackay. 25 from goal. The angle is negligible.
Took Darcy Moore back to the goal square, led off him so he doesn't get the intercept mark. Young Fisher takes him on the mark. Some dare. That's what you need.
It's a smarter lead by Mackay because he waited for the last moment. So, Moore, is always going to give you that little bit of space because he wants to lay off.
Only early stages, but Carlton desperately needs one. And Harry Mackay delivers it at the 29-minute mark of the first quarter. The margin is cut to 12 points Collingwood's way. 5-2-32 the Pies. Carlton 3-2-20.
You love that by Adam Sard.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible kick. Turned the ball over. But then the next kick, he goes and intercept Mark. And he's off again. He's off straight. Handball into the middle of the ground. And that's what started it. Just the flow there. Murphy gets it over to Doherty, who gets involved. Then Fisher, danced around the man on the mark. Made him try smother. But then the composure. I like what they're doing because they know with Howe and Moore, they want the ball kicked high.
What I liked about Sard is he made a little mistake. That's he right. Didn't go back in his shell. He just went straight on with it again and fixed it up, which is a really good thing.
Collingwood by 12 points as we approach the half-an-hour mark of the opening quarter. 8 goals scored in this opening term so far. Pitnet and Grundy resume their battle. Grundy wins down the tap. Not officiating, umpire with a free kick for a hold, and it's going to go Taylor Adams' way against Walsh. Adams kicks to the lead of Pendlebury. It bounced off his chest, couldn't hang on to it. Sire gathers, tackled by Williamson. He can't break clear. Trying to drop it on his foot, no whistle. It comes to Sidebottom, the ultimate pain as he bounces it through for a goal. Oh, some Carlton fans will be pleading at the umpire there. There was no boot on ball. And that's the case being made by the Carlton defence, especially Tom Williamson. Steele Sidebottom with his first goal, and Collingwood back out by 18 points, 6-2-38 to Carlton 3-2-20.
Oh, it's simply hold the ball.
Well, you can't do anything about it now.
No, you can't, but it costs you a goal. That's the issue here, Sellers. Late in the quarter, 53 seconds remaining.
And time on's one of the keys in this game. Time on is huge.
Red time goals. Collingwood have now kicked 3 red time goals in this quarter to 1.
I know.
It's not a good decision. Sire went to kick the ball, he missed it. It's incorrect disposal. Williamson had his arms wrapped around Sire. It's holding the ball.
Carlton needs to shake that off and try and find a reply before quarter time. Pisnet and Grundy in ruck. They collide. Grundy knocks it down. Sidebottom there. Couldn't win it. Grundy did. Defensive hand pass to Crisp. Tumble punt out towards left half forward for Collingwood. Pendlebury and Doherty go after it. 2 fine players there. Pendlebury knocks to his own advantage. Coming through, though, is Setterfield. He takes possession, gets tackled by Pendlebury. If the umpire blows one here, look out. He calls for a ball up at left half forward for the Pies.
There's plenty of Carlton fans in that southern stand as well, Al. No doubt giving him a piece of their mind. Pitnet and Grundy. Grundy down to Adams, back to Grundy. Harder back against the boundary, and Walsh sees Taylor Adams out of play. Throw in 60 metres out from Collingwood's goal. They lead by 18 points. So close in on quarter time.
In it spins. Shallow throw in. Grundy palmed it towards the boundary line. Tyler Brown there. Murphy gets a hold of him, escorts him out of play. 65 around from the Collingwood goal. The Magpies by 18. Let's see if the ump can hurl it a little further this time. The Rucks start at the back point of the square and have a fair bit of territory to make again. Roundhouse left from Grundy towards the 50. Doherty there. He's tackled immediately by Elliott, who's playing with vim and vigour tonight. Couple of early goals for him. A ball up now. Carlton can't afford to concede another. Collingwood pressing here, top of the 50, but Williams gets it. He's tackled. Just got boots of ball. It skids over the boundary line. It's stoppage central out on the southern side. A throw in the dying stages of the first quarter.
33-minute quarter too.
It's been highly entertaining and high scoring as well. Thrown back in. Grundy punches it towards the boundary line. Walsh's kick is smothered, and that'll do us for the opening quarter. The Magpies with an 18-point advantage at the first break. 6-2-38 to the Blues, 3-2-20. Jeremy Howe told us in the pre-game about how they were made to pay for their slow start against the Western Bulldogs, so they've made their opportunities count in this opening term. For the Magpies, 2 goals to Brodie Myercheck and to Jamie Elliott, individuals to DeGoey and to Sidebottom. Meanwhile, for Carlton, their goals have come through Mackay, Martin and Gibbons.
On the SMS 0437 774 774. Nick's listening from Japan. Go Pies, says Nick. So if you're overseas, you can listen to our calls of the match via the AFL app. Not the ABC Listen app, the AFL app if you need to stream our content. Our match calls, our pre-games are on the ABC Listen app, but rights restrictions don't allow our broadcast to be there. You can get them on the AFL app. So good to have you with us, Nick, tonight from Japan. Karen from Sunshine. Hi, I'm a Cats fan, but going for the Pies, she says, tonight. Cats fans wouldn't usually be going for the Pies, would they? And go Pies, every 10 to 11 years a grand final, says one of our listeners. Another says, and remember to give us your name and where you're listening, will the team be consistent and talk about each incorrect umpiring decision tonight in such detail? Yes.
We might have our work cut out for it. Does the neutral still despise Collingwood, Rammer?
Pardon?
Does the neutral observer still despise Collingwood?
I think most do, yeah. Yeah. I don't like them.
What about Essendon?
Now that listener is going to be fired up, Rammer. Neutral.
No.
But objective
I
in
know
this commentary box.
my mum's listening, and she's a diehard, always been a diehard Collingwood supporter.
There you go. Yeah. 6-2-38 Collingwood, Carlton 3-2-20 a quarter
Hello
time on
Mrs.
Grandstand
Ramanauskas.
AFL. Absolutely.
Oh, she knows.
And you were a little Richmond boy.
I was. Yeah, my dad. Yep.
Quarter time goal kickers, 2 to Elliott, 2 to Myercheck, singles to Sidebottom and to Goey, and for Carlton, Mackay, Martin and Gibbons. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you're listening around the country, or like Nick, overseas, to Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
And it's night time where you are. I see your face, I see the stars. And there's no time where we are. Let's keep this conversation going.
Local people, delivering local stories where you live. ABC Radio. On the ABC Listen app, online and on your radio.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
It's always big, Carlton and Collingwood. It feels really big at the MCG tonight. Plays on quickly, kicks Collingwood to De Goey. Marks on his chest, 35 from goal to the left of centre in game 100. Been a lot of talk about where he should play, midfield or forward. Collingwood fans say forward. De Goey kicks the opening goal of the night.
Gets the hand pass to Williams in time. Kicks to the pocket. Martin on the lead. He marks on his chest. Jack Martin starts on the angle, curls it across the body and puts the first through for the Blues.
Sire crashed that packet. Centre-half forward for Collingwood. Crisp to Quaynor. A wobbler into the forward pocket. Myercheck. Outstanding use of the body. Brodie Myercheck has become Collingwood's Mr. Reliable. And he bends through his first of the night.
Shovels a hand pass forward to Dow. He works the hand pass back to Murphy. Beautiful from Carlton. Over the top to Gibbons in the pocket. Nice sidestep around Moore. And the finish is even better. Michael Gibbons with a top shelf finish. Sidebottom takes the mark on his chest to see still Sidebottom back, and that's a better pass. As Jamie Elliott comes out and marks on his chest, 40 metres out for his second. Jamie Elliott finishes straight over the goal umpire's hat.
Front point of the square. Now measures his pass to the mighty Myercheck, who marks on his chest, 45 from goal, directly in front. He kicks from inside 50. You can barely hit a drop punt better. Went through it half post height.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Collingwood leading Carlton by 18 points at quarter time on Grandstand AFL. Alistair Nicholson and Matt Clinch calling the action for you. Tim Hodges is down on the boundary. On the SMS 0437 774 774. Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McClure. Hamish from Waker, he reckons Carlton's playing too much football in the corridor, not enough on the oval. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that first quarter?
Well, see, I actually like both teams going through the corridor.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, it's the most attacking part of the game. When Carlton did go through the corridor in that quarter, they're able to score. So it is dangerous. But I do understand what that text is saying. Is at times when the game is going so fast and so frantic, the MCG is so wide and you can slow the ball up through the wider wings of the MCG.
It gives the opposition a chance to get their players back in the back half as well. Right. So the quicker you move it, the better you go.
So I think Collingwood got a 3-goal lead at the moment, 18 points. So where Collingwood's game has changed from last week, is through the arcs. They're moving the ball a lot quicker. They're moving with a lot more purpose, giving De Goey, giving Jamie Elliott, Myercheck real opportunity inside their forward 50 as space. Carlton not rolling back. But in saying that, Sellers, I don't think Carlton want to roll back. We've heard from them so much this year that they want to attack the game a lot more. They want to run and carry. And at times, though, you've still got to be able to defend.
The point for me is their foot skills. Collingwood's foot skills have been fantastic. They've hit targets. They've used it quickly. They've made a decision and they've gone bang. Okay, it wins sometimes and it fails sometimes, but that's what you have to do in this game because it's a one-on-one game. The ball has to move, and I think their share and amongst their group has been just fantastic. Ball use skills is just super for them. I haven't seen too many bad kicks at all. Everyone's been hit the target or gone pretty close to it. That's the difference, and Carlton have got to get more dare. Take a mark, no good stand, let's go. The bloke on the mark stands still, you go. That's what you have to do and keep moving and make some movement around the place. We saw when they actually moved down the ground and there was a Gibbons goal, and then you saw with Fisher the same thing. They moved down the ground, and once they kept moving, the opposition are in trouble. They're all on the back foot.
The one interesting matchup with that quarter was Harry Mackay and Darcy Moore. Mackay got a late goal, but before that, Moore was really dominant in that matchup.
Took him deep, though.
Second quarter action on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport. Collingwood by 18 points. The perfect bounce, except the ruckman completely tangled up and mucked it up. Neither got a hand on it. Pendlebury's hand pass. Dacos comes through the traffic from behind the centre circle. Awkward left foot kick, skids along the ground. Grundy feeds it up by hand to Pendlebury. His wide hand pass, superb vision. Bounces obligingly for Crisp, who kicks to Cox, who should have marked. Got bodied by Jones. Jones bashes it straight to DeGoey. DeGoey off a step. DeGoey goals. What a start to Collingwood in the second term. DeGoey gets his second, and it's the Magpies by a game-high 24 points through 30 seconds of this term.
Well, you see him come out of the middle of the ground in numbers, and they rush down to that area, and all of a sudden they punch the ball. Jones punches the ball out. Guess what? He didn't know DeGoey was there. He saw a blue jumper out wider, didn't get it properly, and all of a sudden they're in trouble. DeGoey picks it up. Now there's three players with 2 goals each. It's DeGoey, and that's Elliott, and that is Myercheck. But that centre bounce clearance is also very important in this game. And now they've set up a winnings type score. If you think 4 goals in front halfway through the second quarter, that's going to be take a lot of catching up to get hold of. So they're going to beat them.
There's centre clearances, and then there's goals from centre clearances.
Correct.
That's what Collingwood are doing at the moment. Centre clearances are reasonably even. It's 6-5 in Collingwood's favour, but Collingwood are scoring from their centre clearances.
5 disposals for DeGoey. 2 goals, 1. A chance for Carlton to break clear, although it's socket off the ground by Adams. It works. It finds side bottom. Kicks to DeGoey on the lead. Here he is again.
No, they can't get back quick enough, Carlton. So you look there, it's another centre clearance for the Pies. Another scoring opportunity for the Pies, but, you know, Carl Lewis wouldn't have got back there to block up space in Collingwood's forward.
You've got to
line.
win the centre bounce.
Yeah.
Directly in front, 35 metres out. Jordan DeGoey has 3. The ultimate impact player for Collingwood as they extend their lead out to 30 points. 7-2-44 to Carlton, 3-2-20. The Blues need to be careful. This is getting totally out of control. Yeah. 2 minutes into the second quarter.
So I think now for the next, let's call it 7 or 8 minutes, if there's a couple of more goals kicked either way, Carlton have got to get set up defensively now at the centre bounce. So their wingers need to be running defensive to try and block up that space, and their mids inside the centre square now need to be setting up defensive, because if Collingwood win it, they're scoring. And that's a real issue. Carlton, if they win it, they're not scoring. So the defensive setup now in a centre bounce for Carlton is really critical for the next 7 or 8 minutes.
That was by a mistake from the captain.
Slipped over.
Correct.
Speaking of Carl Lewis, Brodie Grundy's leaning over like he's on the starter's blocks as he prepares to run in against Pitnet. They share it in the middle. Williams gets a hold of it for Carlton. Kicks towards half forward, but good use of the body by Maynard on Murphy. Edged him out, took the mark. Low pass along the line of the centre square. Doherty punched it away from side bottom. Clever tap from Pendlebury towards the logo. Picked up by Grundy off to Maynard. Long hand pass to Adams. He kicks back into the corridor, dangerously turned it over. Fogarty marks for Carlton, off to Cripps. His hand pass to Walsh puts him in a bind. He manages to get it off to Fogarty through the middle. Another long hand pass. Carlton perhaps overdoing it here. Ed Curno's hand pass to a running Sard.
How far has he run?
Tyler Brown wants to go with him. Helicopter kick inside the 50. Roughhead launches on the back of Harry Mackay and pulls in a brilliant defender's mark.
And he copped a big knee right in the back of the head. Harry Mackay is a little bit groggy.
Oh, the kick to Quaynor won't make it there, and Pitnet takes the intercepting mark.
He should have kept going.
Maynard with his head in his hands. It was a howler of a kick. He just didn't see Pitnet, and the kick just sat up.
How could he not see him?
It's a good question.
He's 6'6".
So Pitnet, who hasn't kicked a goal in his AFL career, had a crack in the first quarter. This is far more his liking, directly in front, 30 metres from goal. Carlton just so desperately need it. Can Pitnet deliver? Awkward kick, effective result. The Blues will take them any way they'll come at this stage, as they pull one back to cut Collingwood's lead to 24 points. 8-2-50 to Carlton, 4-2-26. 4.5 minutes gone, second quarter. Tim Hodges on the boundary.
Just keeping an eye on Harry Mackay for you guys. He's coming to the bench. He's been in the hands of the physio after that blow to the back of the head from Roughhead. I think he's okay, but gee, he took an almighty knee in the back of the scone then. So, yeah, pretty sore.
CJ's on the text on 0437 774 774. He says, I'd like Carlton to lose, but that gets overridden by the footy ABC rule. Anyone but Collingwood. Go Saints, says CJ in Hyde Park. Good on you, CJ. 0437 774 774. Love your thoughts, opinions on the game, and maximum points if you can make Sellers and Rammer laugh in the back of the box. From the middle, here comes Martin. He's gone in there off to Setterfield. He's under the pump. Hand pass missed Cripps. He's got Grundy for company. Grundy bodies him off it, but then he's caught by Martin. It spills to Crisp of Collingwood. Off to Sire, off to Callum Brown. A hand pass to Pendlebury. Going through the corridor. He kicks out wide. Beautiful vision again. Finds Tyler Brown. Southern wing. He goes short to Noble. Noble centre of the wing. He kicks Collingwood to half forward. Back with a flight. Dacos takes a one-hander. He's 65 out. He plays on around Dow. Calls for a lead. 55 out. Goes deep with the kick. Knocked away from Cox. Good spoil Plowman. Picked up in defence by Williamson. Sweeping hand pass bashed forward by Doherty towards the 50. Dacos gets it again. Wheels onto his right. Another deep entry. Mason Cox is there. Punched through by Wiedering for a minor score. He killed it off. There was danger everywhere for Carlton. The lead is 25 at the 6-minute mark of the second. Collingwood over Carlton.
Sam Petreski-Seaton in the long sleeves, and the famous number 5 brings the Blues back into play. Great kick to Paddy Cripps at left half back. Feeds off the hand pass to Doherty. Inboard to Ed Kerno, gathered on the half volley. Back to Doherty. Fires the hand pass forward to Pivnet. Between wing and half forward, he blazes away without looking. Quaynor has time to gather inside the 50-50. Had a fumble, ricocheted off his heel and rolls out of play.
Bring back that rule. Don't handball to Ruckman.
Boundary throw in on left half forward for the Blues, with Collingwood leading by 25 points.
8-3-51 to 4-2-26. It was the Pies by 18 at quarter time. We're now 7 minutes into the second quarter. Pitnet and Grundy lock up. Grundy a tap down. Nice stuff to Tyler Brown, off to Dacos. Gives to Howe, who tries a torpedo. It goes out to the wing off the outside of the boot. The umpire says deliberate. That definitely was not deliberate.
That is a howler.
It's come off the side of his boot, umpire.
I think he meant it. Yeah, that'd be right. That's ridiculous.
If he meant to disguise it that well, Sellers.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
He's a genius. Carlton with the free kick. Cripps plays on immediately, and he thumps them inside 50. Casbold in front of the pack. It gets to the back. Quaynor and Noble. Noble gets it for Collingwood. Kick around the corner. Martin back with a flight. Should intercept for Carlton. He does. And plays on immediately. He runs towards the 50. He goes as long as he can to the goal square. Did it take a hand on the way through? It stays in play, bounced on its point. Noble comes out to the back flank for Collingwood, and Callum Brown takes the mark.
He works it over the top to Quaynor, who can dash from half back. Looks up to Myercheck. Plowman coming the other direction, takes the intercepting mark. As Myercheck was trying to race back to half forward. Into the middle of the ground, Ed Curto had to wait a while. Thomas came charging in. Curto held his ground and took the mark.
See, this is
not what you want to do.
Switches laterally to left half back.
Put pressure on them.
Well, it just allows Collingwood to set up defensively now.
Correct.
Doherty takes the mark, but there's now one-on-ones in front of him further afield. Back to Wiedering, and back to Doherty at left half back. They've gone nowhere. Plays on now into the corridor, looking for an option to present.
See, that's
Hits
the
centre
problem.
field. Spoiled by Pendlebury. Hand pass to half forward. Petreski-Seaton can't take it. Sliding on his belly, he tries to knock it out. Side bottom in there for Collingwood. He can't rip it clear. It's gathered in the end by Wiedering. His kick is smothered.
Right.
Pendlebury gathers. Hand pass to Noble on 50. Side steps one. Not Petreski-Seaton.
the
Great
ball.
tackle. Almost run down. Carlton on the last line. Wiedering works it back to Fisher. And now to Jones, who kicks out to Murphy on right half-back.
He gathers on the bounce and kicks Carlton to the wing. Nunes marks near the interchange where Harry Mackay's okay and ready to come back on. Hand pass over the top of Crisp to Fogarty under pressure. Gives it to Murphy. Murphy kicks to half forward. Howe slides in and takes the intercept mark in front of Cripps. He kicks Collingwood around the wing. Callum Brown had to wait. Plowman gained ground, but Brown took the mark in front of him.
I don't know why he's slowing it down.
Brown looks into the corridor, sees nothing, goes to half forward. Mychek's got a mismatch here. Petreski-Seaton had no chance. Mychek dropped what he should have taken. Murphy's long hand pass, a beauty, releases Nunes. A bounce along the boundary, a hand pass to Fogarty, back to Nunes, who had to wait. Feeds it forward now to Sard, who will do one thing, run.
He looks to kick to half
Had a great
forward where
kick.
Casbolt has a metre or two on
Super
more.
kick.
He's got a vacant 50. Gibbons is running hard, puts it in the path of him. Gibbons runs onto it, gathers hard against the boundary. Don't tell me.
That is a great goal.
Not just one, but 2 goals of the night. He's a highlights machine at the MCG on round 2. And the Blues desperately needed something to give them a spark. I wasn't sure about the kick from Levi, but Gibbons was up to the task. Collingwood's lead is 19 points after back-to-back goals from the Blues. Collingwood 8-3-51 to Carlton 5-2-32.
Well, you'll see that a few times on television, that goal. That is spectacular and super goal. Probably on the toughest angle you'll ever get in your life. But 2 goals for the quarter already. They were down and out at quarter time. They were down by a hell of a lot of points. Now they're just pegging it back. They've made some mistakes, but you know what? They're having a go. They're pushing, they're shoving, they're doing what they can do to get the ball forward. And that kick was just unreal. And so is Casbolt. Casbolt come down the line. Sard's kick was really good on his left foot. Usually hook him into the grandstand, but not that one. Sard's was perfect.
Tim Hodges, boundary side.
Good news for the Blues continues. Harry Mackay is back on the ground. I just watched him on the bench. He had a bag of ice on his head. He's going to have the mother of all headaches, but the good news, he's back on the ground at full forward.
Carlton a clearance. Walsh out towards the wing. Ed Curnow couldn't pick it up. He's knocked off it. Tyler Brown tenacious. Slapped it out the back of the pack. Walsh slaps it Carlton's way. Dow tries to run onto it. Got Sy for company. Maybe manhandled. No free kick. Sy gets a gift to side bottom. Mown down. Fogarty.
That has to be a free kick.
Holding the ball. Free kick Carlton, middle of the ground. Fogarty picked him off. And now sends Carlton forward. The Blues' confidence building. Can they find a mark? Mackay up. Couldn't take it. Roughhead pulled it down. Comes to Moore by hand to Howe. Collingwood now through Noble. Goes to Dacos. They were calm under pressure, the Pies. Dacos in the left back pocket.
All of a sudden the Blues have their tails up. Dacos looks into the corridor. Decides nothing really on offer, so sends it long towards Mychek and Cox in from the side. Couldn't take the mark. Williams to Carlton with a hand pass forward. Dow held when he had the footy. Maynard with the tackle over the shoulder. And the free kick will go to Dow at right half forward. He's got Mackay and Fisher deep. Dow just puts it in that direction. Martin sets himself as well. Harry will fly against a couple. Fisher stayed down. Hand pass to Martin into the open goal. 3 on the trot for the Blues. Carlton marching a comeback. And Collingwood's lead is cut to 13 points. The Magpies 8-3-51 to the Blues 6-2-38. 13 minutes gone, second term.
And you just watch this replay here where it's just kick to the pack. You know, it's kick to the pack, 20 metres out from goal. Paddy Dow there, just an easy kick. But you look at all the Pies defenders. They're all just in the contest. They're all trying to spoil. They're all trying to intercept mark. Fisher stays down. Martin stays down. Ball gets to the back. And it's an easy goal in the end. Smart play.
But they didn't have to kicking it long to the square's no good. You've got to bring them forward.
20 metres out. Perfect
That's exactly
kick.
right.
Perfect kick there. You know
No hustle and bustle.
Well, you know Moore's going to fly for the mark. You know Howe's going to fly. You know Roughhead's going to fly for the mark. So
that's all they know.
Well, you're relying on then Quainer and Noble to stay at ground level.
Grundy a clear win in the middle of the ground. Adams after it, caught by Walsh. Got a hand pass out somehow with strength to Pendlebury, who gave it back to Adams in the congestion. Not his best decision. Williams gets a great hand pass, releases Walsh. Carlton on the attack, off to Gibbons. He finds Fisher.
That's clever.
40 out. Goes to the pocket, all on his own. Martin marks. Left forward pocket, tight angle, 25 out.
Well, it was great use of the ball when you think about it from the middle of the ground. They didn't flinch. They just chipped a pass and then chipped a pass. And if you're on your own, I'm going to hit you. That's what they haven't done in the past.
Really good play. Walsh.
Excellent.
Gibbons. Tough angle now, though, for Jack Martin.
Martin opens up the angle. Curling kick at goal. My word.
So.
These momentum swings in modern 2021 footy are a sight to behold. Carlton with 4 in a row, back within 7 points of the Pies. 14 played second term. Collingwood 8-3-51. The Blues 7-2-44. Martin 3 first half goals for Carlton.
You look there, Sellers. The ball, Pendlebury won the ball.
Clearance again, exactly. And a goal.
So Pendlebury wins the ball in the middle of the ground, but his handball went back into the contest. Now the ball comes out and Walsh has got the composure. Rather than just slamming it on the boot, he finds the target, just lowered the eyes to Gibbons. Gibbons then, he did it. He did the right thing by lowering his eyes to Fisher. We all sort of shook our head when Fisher went to the pocket for Jack Martin, but he's on fire at the moment, Jack Martin. That's 3 first half goals. Looks really dangerous. Darcy Moore now has gone over to Jack Martin.
Good luck.
Collingwood got out by 30 points of the first 2 goals of the second quarter. It's back to a 7-point ball game. It's Taylor Adams, Brodie Grundy, Mark Pitnet all scrapped for it. It's going to be tossed up to the left of the centre circle.
Just looking at Tom Williamson, I think you'll find Josh Dacos has given him one right in the guts and taken the wind out of him.
Wonder if that'll be looked at. No doubt it will. Pendlebury kicks to half forward. Williamson knocked off it by Dacos. Gathers the footy at 50. Elliott one-on-one with Jones in the goal mouth. It bounces on its point. Elliott bounced off Jones, pushed out of the contest. Hoskin Elliott gathers against the boundary. Kicks to Brown. Great smother for Tresky-Seaton. It goes through for a behind as it ricochets out. Brown would have thought he had a mark on his chest, but Tresky-Seaton somehow got a golden fist there to see it through for a minor score.
And Wiedering plays on immediately, has a bounce through the back pocket, can kick Carlton all the way to the members' wing. A 2-on-2. Quaynor pushed out by Fisher. Umpire saw it. Free kick Collingwood. Carlton were on the break, but Fisher pushed his opponent out illegally. Quaynor has it. Members' side of the MCG. Collingwood led by 5 goals, but that margin has been cut to only 8 as it stands now. Big pack as the kick comes in. It's punched away. Cal Brown goes up, did brilliantly. Tackled, got boot to ball. Up goes Walsh, takes it for Carlton, not 15. Tackled by Pendlebury, got it outside, gets it out, it ripped away, dropped it cold perhaps. Noble over it, lost it. About 8 or 9 have it surrounded. Size little hand pass out the back towards Noble. Wasn't so long ago Collingwood was holding court at the MCG. Not at the moment. A ball up 45 metres from the Collingwood goal.
Big difference. Tackle count 26-25 Blues. They were down about 10 at one stage. Now they've picked it up.
Curnow with a kick to half back towards Fisher. Quaynor over the top, spoils it out of play for the Pies. A throw in left half forward. 60 metres out from Collingwood's goal at the punt road end of the MCG. The Magpies by 8 points. Pitnet in front position, wins down the tap. Off the hands of Cripps. Gathered by Adams of Collingwood. Spiralling kick inside the 50. Hoskin Elliott pulls it down in the second attempt.
Oh, Elliott's hurt himself there in this contest.
He is grabbing at his left ankle. Off balance as he landed awkwardly with all the weight on the left ankle, and the trainer has the arm up, so not good for Jamie Elliott. He's kicked a couple of goals so far, and we may have a hold to play. Just having a look, right ankle might have been the majority of the weight, so
he's in all sorts.
All of his weight on the right ankle.
He's had a few injuries too, hasn't he?
Yeah. I hope he hasn't broken it. The way the doctors and the trainers are holding the lower leg here.
Just a sickening sight in footy.
He actually landed on it as well.
I think he's broken it, unfortunately.
So laying flat on his back.
They've got to get a stretcher. Where is it?
The trainers have come out and they've called for a stretcher, but obviously the mobile stretcher normally comes from the other side of the MCG.
Has had a lot of problems with his ankle previously, but the left ankle, he had surgery on it a couple of years ago. Gee, he looks in some discomfort. Very disappointing for Jamie Elliott. Very disappointing for Collingwood. And he's had such an influence early in the game as well, Adam Ramanauskas.
I hope I'm wrong, because if he had broken it, they would have definitely put him on the stretcher and be holding the leg. He's coming off, obviously no weight on that right ankle and with two trainers, but he's in a hell of a lot of pain, the young man.
So this looks like a medical sub likely here, as Hoskin Elliott will come in and have a shot at goal and put it through for the Magpies. A settler for the Pies, with the Blues coming at them. The Magpies back by 14 points at the 19-minute mark of the second term. Collingwood 9-4-58, Carlton 7-2-44. Tim Hodges is in the front row. What are you seeing, Hodgie?
Oh, that's a horrible look on Jamie Elliott's face. It's hard not to agree with what Ramo's saying there, that there's something seriously wrong with that right ankle. Trey Rusco is the medical sub for the Magpies. He is now in a full warm-up, so I'd expect he'd be activated within seconds to get him into this game, because just on the look of Jamie Elliott's face, he's not coming back anytime soon, unfortunately.
Still got to do the paperwork, so that's a part of the process that needs to be adhered to before a player can come on the ground.
Sort of like trade deadline. Could take a little bit of time to get through the fax machine.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Why don't they just make the 23rd man?
Missed all of 2018, missed all of 2016. Jamie Elliott has had a tough run with injuries. Back in the middle of the ground, Grundy one down the tap for Pendlebury. Shovels out a hand pass into the path of Sidebottom. Almost had it with Plowman right there with him. Taylor Adams lays the tackle on Cripps, who's laying on his stomach and can't knock the footy clear. This is a turning point of this second quarter, because the Blues have kicked the last 4 goals and were on the charge. Collingwood answer back through Hoskin Elliott. Walsh squeezed the kick to half order, bouncing ball, Roughhead cleared him, onto it more, he's dumped in a tackle, Fisher the topo, knocks it forward towards the goal mouth. Collingwood have the numbers racing back. Quaynor gets there up against the right behind post, looks to half back and up and under kick to a 2-on-1, News with a great fly.
He had the sit.
The back of Jamie Cripps.
What's he paid you? Holding the arm down, Gibbons.
You can't believe that.
So News with a great fly on the back of Jack Cripps, but he's been denied because of the free kick in front of him. Oh, that's a shame. Where's that umpire's sense of theatre?
Jones into the middle. Fogarty goes short. Cripps has changed his boots. He slipped over in the middle. He's had enough of those orange ones. He's got the fluoro green on now. Sard and now Nunes out at left half forward.
A number of players slipped over where that centre wicket was in round one, Al.
Kick inside the 50, massive. Pack Mackay got a good piece of it, didn't mark. Grundy a clearing ball for Collingwood. Nunes gets it again. He's marking everything. The last couple have been paid. Nunes into the pocket. Dangerous one. Murphy picks up. Quaynor for company. Defensive hand pass to Saab, top of the 50. Threw it on the boot towards the hot spot. Roughhead up to Spoil. Holding on, free kick. Mackay's free kick for Carlton. Directly in front. 30 metres from goal.
What did you see there, Sellers?
No idea.
10 players in that pack.
There was a lot of people there.
So Darcy Moore here.
Yeah, he's got hold of it.
He's holding him down. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, fair enough.
Oh, some famous names for Collingwood and Carlton. Moore and Mackay. Mackay goes for goal, and he gets his second of the night. Carlton back within 8 points at the 23-minute mark of the second quarter. 9-4-58 Collingwood. Carlton 8-2-50. And it's a very, very small sample size, but some of the footy we're seeing this season, it's terrific to watch.
Yeah. And I like Mackay's look there. He actually pushed back onto Moore, so Moore cannot get a jump at him, and all of a sudden he gets grappled. That's what defenders do. So then you get a free kick, an easy one, but you've got to keep Moore on 2 feet, not off the ground at any stage. that short kick in, the low kick in sometimes, which has worked, and they had a goal over the back to Fisher and a few others around the place as well. That is what the Blues want to do. Stay more, do not jump. Don't let him jump. Take him where he cannot go. And all of a sudden he'll grapple, he'll hold, and a free kick came.
Collingwood got out by 30 points early in the second quarter. It's back to an 8-point ball game. Pitnet and Grundy. Pitnet gets the clearance, sends it to half forward, racing back. Tyler Brown got a cruel bounce. Noble trying to spin out of traffic. He's gone. Cripps got him. Umpire waves play on, and the numbers form on top of the footy. Going to be tossed up at the right corner of the centre square. Carlton on half forward. Grundy taken over the shoulder, and Collingwood will get a free kick on left half back.
Down to Tim Hodges.
This isn't good news for Jamie Elliott. The doctors have just emerged from the rooms. They've shook their head. The paperwork is just being lodged as we speak. Trey Rusco has the jacket off and he will enter this game. So Jamie Elliott is out with that ankle injury that looks pretty serious. Trey Rusco is now into the game for the Magpies.
Thank you, Hodgie. And just to comment, Hodgie, on the atmosphere being outside amongst it with the increased capacity tonight.
I will say it must be over 60,000. It is a pro-Carlton crowd. It's just fantastic to see so many people on the top deck of the grandstand here in the Great Southern Stand in particular. It's been over 12 months since those seats have been used, and great to see the Carlton fans booing as much as they have so far.
Good on you.
Melbourne certainly feels alive. I'm sure you're loving it, Hodgie, as
You're
a
going to
we.
stop barracking, Hodgie.
Free kick for holding the footy against Fisher. It's going the way of Callum Brown, who gets the hand pass to Crisp. De Goey on the lead, couldn't take the mark. Doherty in from the side. Plowman gathers, ducked his head, beat the tackle of Pendlebury, but put it out on the full under the pressure.
Well, I was hoping that went out of bounds, because to see that would have been deliberate, as it was against Jeremy Howe in the first quarter.
Crisp short to Adams. Adams plays on, kicks from 55 to the top of the goal square. Up in front, Pitnet couldn't take the mark. Dacos, edge down, Plowman, gathered, snapped, and showcased his brilliance. Dacos every bit his father there. A magnificent goal. And Collingwood back out by 14 points. 25 played, second term. The Magpies 10-4-64, Carlton 8-2-50 on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport.
Oh, Plowman's got to be stronger than that and better than that. That was right next to the, you got to push it through the points. He just pushed him out of the way. The young man has played, 20 games, 10 games, 20 games. He is a powerhouse, and he pushed Plowman out of the way. He's smaller. I really like this kid, Dacos. He's got some tricks, he's got some skills, and he's as smart and strong as you can see. He's composed, unbelievable.
With the ball.
He's a very, very good player.
And the taller younger brother, Nick, is playing in the under-18s round at the moment, played a pracky match for Collingwood the other day. But, Sellers, would you believe, grew up barracking for Carlton?
So he should.
How do you grow up in the Dacos household barracking for Carlton?
You're allowed to make a choice. He obviously made the right one.
Footy democracy.
Collingwood burst out of the middle through Crisp. He gets to half forward, long to De Goey. Did Plowman have a bit of his arm? Umpire says no. As it goes out of play up against the right behind post, a boundary throw in. Collingwood looking so dangerous when they burst out of the middle like that.
It's turned again, hasn't it? The Blues had the best part of the first half of this quarter, and then all of a sudden the Pies are back in it.
30 metres around from Collingwood's goal, thrown in. Pitnet wins it down. Free kick for a hold going Carlton's way, and Doherty will take it in the left back pocket. No, it is Pitnet's free kick. He had no idea.
He had no idea.
Lumbered forward to be told, come back, it's your kick.
That in keeping with Ruckman, you reckon, Sellers?
He did give the hand pass, which will please you, Sellers.
Doherty out to the wing, a superb mark, leaping from 3 deep. Harry Mackay pulled it in for the Blues. Defensive side of the southern wing, Collingwood by 14 points, approaching the 28-minute mark. And this will be a very long quarter with the injury.
Kicked it to 1-on-4 here.
To Elliott. Casbolt, the one, did enough to get it to ground level. Murphy lurking near the boundary line. He's tackled without the ball. Umpire says holding on. Free kick Carlton, left half forward.
Incredible how they got that. He kicked it to 1-on-4 and he was small.
Murphy on the move. Low drop punt inside the 50. Casbolt in front, punched away by Roughead. Rode by Nunes. Left foot snaps a high one across the face of goal. And it floats through for a minor score. A 13-point lead to Collingwood at the 28.5-minute mark. And some concerns for Carlton now, Tim Hodges.
Just out here on the wing on the members' side is Jacob Wiedering. He is struggling to go. He's got I think it's a corky, just the way he's trying to get into a gallop, and Brody Myercheck should be running off him as much as he can at the moment.
Long kick, Pitnet juggles the mark from Quaynor.
Give it
the
to
handball.
someone. Yeah, that'd be a nice idea.
He was floating around the back. He goes the foot skills towards Paddy Cripps. He flies but can't take the mark. Contested in the marking contest, and Cripps gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass to Sire, to Noble, out to Tyler Brown, and now to Sidebottom. Great evasive skills just to get around Fisher. Kick around the wing to Myercheck, but in front Williamson takes the mark for the Blues.
Yeah, he's coming to the bench now, Hodgie. Wiedering, you can clearly see he's very sore.
It's a big loss.
Williamson near the interchange for Carlton. Plays on. Uses his trusty left boot to kick inside the 50. Williams fell over. Roughhead didn't get it. It was taken by Madgen. His kick partially smothered on the way out. Petreski-Seton had a fumble. Gathers, gives to Fisher. Callum Brown goes with him. Back to Petreski-Seton. Gets around Sire. Runs to right half forward. Kicks Carlton inside 50. Kicked it straight to Grundy. Errant. Awful. Wasted. Free kick. Rather a mark to Collingwood to be taken. This kick by Grundy in the left back pocket.
That's actually not his fault. No one ran towards him. No one came to the kicker. You got to do that.
Grundy long to Myercheck, who sets fly. Takes a great mark over the top of Fisher.
See, we will see these marks. Sellers mentioned it earlier. We're going to see a lot more one-on-one football this year. So, now we've seen a couple of high flies in the opening round and tonight already.
Long towards Mason Cox, who had 2 to beat. Plowman takes the intercepting mark for Carlton. Across half back to Curnow. Now to Walsh to the run of Saad. Through the middle he goes. Pierces a kick towards Casbolt. A 2-on-1 for Darcy Moore. Excellent mark against Mackay and Casbolt. That's the All-Australian defender on display right there in Darcy Moore.
That was a star mark.
One of the best intercept marks in the game.
And will be part of the ABC Grandstand AFL commentary team for a couple of matches throughout the season as well. So if he's as good as in here as he is out there, that'll be a treat. Collingwood work it around. Back into the corridor. Crisp found Madgen at centre half back. He plays on. Kicks across the back of the square. Marked by Howe. Howe comes to the members' side. Defensive side of the wing. Noble the mark. He comes back infield, working the angles, the pies. Crisp marks. He kicks towards Myercheck. All uncontested football. Myercheck kicks towards De Goey. Over the top. Jones a double fister. Thomas a rove. He kicked towards goal. De Goey in the way. Plucked it out of the air. Snaps a goal. And pops through another. Jordan De Goey. 4 goals in the first half in his 100th game. He's lighting it up. Collingwood's match-winning player. A 19-point lead to Collingwood at the 31.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Collingwood 11-4-70. Carlton 8-3-51. Down to Hodgie on the boundary.
Yeah, our real concern for the Blues, Jacob Wiedering, he's had some work on that right hip on the bench, and the doctors weren't happy with him at all. They've taken him to the rooms, and he had a real noticeable limp as he tried to get down the stairs to the Carlton room. So it's going to be a race against time to get him back in the second half for the Blues.
Well, De Goey is standing up really well up forward. He likes it up forward. He likes that space. He's got a powerful area, and he's got a couple of blokes he can beat. He knows he can beat Plowman. He knows he can beat Petreski-Seton. He knows he can beat those guys, and he's loving every second of it with his 4 goals.
Only ever kicked 5 in 5 games against Carlton previously, Sellers, and he's got 4 in the first half. You know the Seller.
I've been there.
Patrick Cripps with the clearance of Carlton, kicks to half forward. Fogarty with the kick, almost worked out, couldn't take it down low. Casbolt's tackled by 2 Magpies. Dropped the footy in the end. Adams with the hand pass to Roughhead. He squeezed the kick into the middle of the ground. Pendlebury in front against Doherty. Couldn't take the mark. It comes to Sire. The hand pass to Taylor Adams. Turns it over. Trying to kick it to Mason Cox, and Jones takes the intercepting mark. Straight down the pipe. He finds Casbolt. Can Carlton turn defence into attack? Kicks to Mackay. On the bounce, gathered more right there with him. Darcy wins it against the boundary. Great 1-2 with Maynard. And Darcy bounds out of defence. Kicks to Mason Cox, who marks on the southern wing.
Dishes off a quick hand pass. Electric from Collingwood. Hoskin Elliott into the pocket to Goey.
Got him again.
Darcy Moore go right back to the back pocket for Collingwood. Set it up. Got the play in motion. And Collingwood moved it breathtakingly from one end of the field to the other to Jordan Ngoe, 45 metres out, 45-degree angle to the right, kicking at goal number 5.
To be a forward again, Sellers.
Well, it's a fantastic, because once you move and get hit with those sort of passes, it becomes very easy.
Carlton had grabbed back the momentum.
No.
It's with Collingwood now, but only a point added by Jordan Ngoe, who's got 4 goals too, and Collingwood leads by 20 points at the 34-minute mark of the second quarter. A long term with an ankle injury to Jamie Elliott. Trey Rusco has been subbed into the game.
They got a problem down back with Ngoe. They don't know who to put on him. They can't find anyone. The best they've got is Plowman, and the best they've got is Petrescu-Seaton.
I think Saad might be the best option.
Saad's too small.
He might be the best option because he's quick enough to go with him.
He won't chase him. Saad will run off him, but when they stand him in the goal square, what's he going to do?
Doherty's kick was out on the full, such was the pressure.
He's on pace for 8 goals at the moment. They've got to try something.
I think he'll get him.
We're raffling in the commentary box. Imagine what they're doing in the Carlton coach's box. As Mychek veers out to the right, sends it in the Ngoe direction. He's got a couple to compete against. And in the end, it's spoiled down to get us to half-time. So Collingwood having led by 18 points at quarter time, lead by 20 at half-time. The Magpies 11-5-71 to Carlton 8-3-51. Collingwood kicked the first 2 goals of the second quarter to get up by 30 points. Carlton then kicked the next 4 to get it back to 7 points, but the Magpies finishing with 3 of the last 4 goals of the half.
The goal kickers to half-time on Grandstand AFL. Ngoe with 4. 2 goals to Jamie Elliott, who very sadly has been substituted out of the game due to a serious right ankle injury. 2 goals as well to Brody Mychek. Singles to Dacos, Sidebottom and Hoskin Elliott. While for Carlton, Jack Martin has kicked 3 goals in his first game of the season. 2 goals to Mackay, 2 goals to Gibbons. Both of them contenders for goal of the year. We'll have to ask our experts, Rammer and Sellers, which they deem to be better. And a single goal to Mark Pitnet, his first in AFL football. So the momentum swings that we've had in this match already been really good to watch. The flow of this game, it's been fast and entertaining. 0437 774 774 0437 774 774 is the number if you want to get in touch with us. Bill reckons the Blues are not playing smart enough or tough enough in the contest. Another listener, g'day from Amsterdam. Go Pies. Remember to send us your name and well, clearly where you're listening. Amsterdam, we've had Japan as well. I wonder what far-flung places are out there tonight. Where are you listening?
Far-flung?
Well, fair way away. That's what I meant, Sellers. Good to have you in the back, just tapping me on the shoulder with your metallic ruler. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to touch base with Sellers or Rammer. Offer your thoughts, ask them a question, get involved with our broadcast on Grandstand AFL across the course of the season. Collingwood 11-5-71, Carlton 8-3-51. Jamie Elliott on crutches is the sad note for Collingwood tonight, but apart from that, enjoyable game of football to watch. How have you seen it, Sellers? How have you seen it, Rammer?
Well, I've seen it really well from Collingwood's point of view. That they were hurt from last week when the Doggies knocked them over, rolled them over with a much more speedier game. They've quickened up their game, and I've seen 2 players who I think that really make a difference to them. Ngoe's one of them. Ngoe's had 6 marks in the forward line. I mean, that is massive. Kicked 4 goals, probably should have kicked 5. Darcy Moore's had 4 marks in the defence, but 8 intercepts as well to add to his game. He's the powerhouse in the back, and they've got a powerhouse up front. And then and all of a sudden you got but the Blues are battling to get goals. They push it forward. They try really hard, but they just haven't got the same sort of, and they can't hold Ngoe. Who are you going to play on Ngoe? Can I find somebody? I don't know. Liam Jones couldn't play on him because he's too tall and a bit of cumbersome. He's very clever, Ngoe. Adam Saad's too small. You got Blocky Plowman's not quite good enough to play on a bloke like that, I don't think. Doherty's one, I think, could. Tom Williamson probably could have a chance, but you need to try someone else at the moment because 4 goals and a half a game of football has broken this game in half almost for the Pies. They started off slowly in the second quarter. The Blues started to take some control of the game. They got themselves right back into 8 points difference, and then they just blew them away with good skills. A really good hit up forward, put the ball in there as quick as you can to the forward line, and Ngoe just keeps coming at it and making a score. 11-5 to 8-3 It's a 20-point game at this stage, at three-quarter time, at half-time. Great scoring. The games are going for 33 minutes and 32 minutes. I love it. And time on is the time when you get hurt.
Well, how good is this?
Would have been a full-time score in last year's fixture.
We've had 19 goals.
It's great. I love it.
And then, what's that, another 8 scoring shots. So, 27 scoring shots in a half of football. It's terrific. And
it's what we want.
Steve Hocking could probably give himself a pat on the back at the moment, because the way the ball's moving now, particularly through the middle of the ground, it's like greased lightning.
So quick.
It is it's so good to watch. And I mentioned it earlier in the game. Guys that kick the ball well now are worth their weight in gold again. Whereas previously the game had just become this rolling maul of stoppage after stoppage, contest after contest. Now the ball is it's moving. What do we have? We had 35 stoppages in that first half, and 19 of those were in the centre bounce. So that's a great result for around the ground.
Hardly any throw-ins.
Yeah, so we've only had 16 ball up or throw-ins in a half of football, which is terrific.
We usually get 50 in a half.
Yeah, so many usually. So I think what's happening to the game at the moment, from a fan point of view, is absolutely terrific. Now, from a coaching point of view, these guys will be pulling their hair out. Absolutely pulling their hair out, both David Teague and Nathan Buckley at the moment, because you want to get the game on your own terms, and how long you can maintain the game on your own terms is critical to your winning. Now, Collingwood got out to a 5-goal lead at the 2-minute mark of that second quarter, and we're all sitting there going, whoa, this could be a really long night here for the Blues. But then the Blues reel off the next 4 goals, and they're back in it just like that. They're back in the game within probably 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
So the momentum swings now in modern-day football is absolutely terrific, and I'm loving it. I'm loving what I've seen so far.
I don't really care what the coaches think, to tell you the truth.
That's
it's
right.
about a spectator's game, and they've turned up, which we're really enjoying, and I'm enjoying the noise as well. We haven't seen a crowd for a year. To me, the coaches can do whatever they like, but the football is so entertaining when they move the ball so quickly.
It does highlight the one-on-one mistakes, doesn't it?
It does.
Braden Maynard with the turnover in defence. Pitnet kicks the goal. Carlton get a run of 4 goals. And then you sort of look at the flip side of that. Who plays on Geordie De Goey? And I think Carlton fans have got Lockie Plowman in the gun, because they need someone who can do that one-on-one role.
So Collingwood kicked 3 of the last 4 goals, and 3 of those were in red time, which hurts Carlton sellers.
Totally does. And I love the way that sometimes you make a mistake in this game and it's glaring. But when it was like you chip a 10-metre pass, well, seriously, that is so boring. It drives me nuts. But you've got to fix it up and have another go and just stand up and do it again and again. This is a game of mistakes.
Yeah. And talking about fixing things up, Carlton need to fix up their contested possessions.
Oh, yeah.
So that's been a critical component of football now forever. So Carlton are minus 22 in that area in a half of football. So that's a beating. That's a real beating around the contest for the Blues, and a massive win for the Pies. The Pies last week obviously got beaten on the outside in those uncontested possessions, but if you're winning the ball inside, you don't then allow it. You don't then allow the opposition to get the ball outside and free flow.
So how many of those from the centre bounce?
Oh, well, yeah.
6 or 7?
Yeah, that's right.
8?
That's right. And I said that after Collingwood kicked that second goal. 2 minutes into that second quarter, Carlton needed to readjust through the middle of the ground. You know, their setup at the centre square, the centre bounces needed to be different. And to their credit, they did change that up, Al.
No, Carlton are out of this game if they can't fix up their defence.
Yeah.
And they can't hold Darcy Moore. They're the two.
So centre clearances right now is Carlton 10, Collingwood 9. But Collingwood are scoring from their centre clearances, which is the real difference. So, Sellers, you're spot on. Go into the sheds now, go into the change rooms. De Goey's kicked 4 goals, 2. Okay, let's work the matchup out, boys. Who is it? Who's the matchup? Who wants to put their hand up to stop Jordan De Goey in this second half? Because clearly he's the match winner at the moment, and clearly Carlton need to find an answer to him.
Collingwood by 20 points at half-time in a very entertaining game of football, a fast game of football at the MCG in front of a crowd which would have to be at least 60,000 here tonight. Fran on the text says, hi everyone, Saturday afternoon team, even if it is the Thursday team tonight, she says, missed you all, ready to hear all the negatives about the Pies, especially after last week's game. Bit worried about playing Carlton. I'm happier that we lifted this week. Hope it lasts, says Fran. Go Pies. Great to have you back with us, Fran. 0437 774 774 is the number if you'd like to touch base. We'll get to more of your texts after the news. Collingwood 11-5-71, Carlton 8-3-51. In the NRL tonight, it's the grand final rematch between Penrith and the Melbourne Storm. And it's 6 points apiece through 35 minutes of that clash being played in Sydney. More from the MCG. The second half should be a beauty. Collingwood leading by 20 points. This is Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. We'll be back shortly after the news.
ABC News with Tim Shepherd. Residents of 9 public housing towers in Melbourne, which were locked down at the height of the pandemic last year, have launched a class action against the state government and the Deputy Chief Health Officer. Helen Vines reports.
The class action is on behalf of more than 3,000 residents who were locked down for up to 14 days in July last year to prevent the spread of COVID-19. They claim they were subjected to false imprisonment and that authorities failed to give proper consideration to their human rights. Their solicitor, Serene Tafaha, says they believe the lockdown was a breach of process.
The driving force behind this is a rectification.
The defendants include the Deputy Chief Health Officer, Annalise Van Diemen, and the Chief Commissioner of Police. The residents are seeking declarations that the government's actions were unlawful or beyond its powers and damages.
New South Wales State MP Michael Johnson has been suspended from the National Party while police investigate allegations he raped a woman 18 months ago. Mr Johnson denies the allegations and says he's cooperating with police. He's resigned from his parliamentary secretary role and has moved to the crossbench. New South Wales Nationals chairman Andrew Fraser says as it's a police matter, there will be no further comment. Greens Senator Lydia Thorpe says it was a stab in the heart to learn about a 4th Indigenous death in custody in 1 month. A 37-year-old Bakunji man died during a police pursuit in Broken Hill in New South Wales last week, and police say it's subject to a critical incident investigation. Senator Thorpe says something urgently needs to be done to address the number of people dying in custody 30 years on from a royal commission into the issue.
We're still being genocided out. This is genocide. I know people don't agree with that, but when will the killing stop? When will the destruction of our land and our people stop in this country?
Despite rain easing across most of New South Wales, large volumes of water moving through river systems continue to cause major flooding. Major flooding around the McIntyre River at Goondiwindi is likely to peak overnight. There are also other flood warnings for Maclean, North Richmond, Grafton, Ulmurra, Couts Crossing, Bulga, Singleton and Moree. The State Emergency Service today performed 40 flood rescues. Genomic tests have confirmed a new strain of COVID in travellers who've arrived in Queensland from Papua New Guinea. Queensland Health says the B1 variant has been detected in a number of the 64 people who've flown in since January 1. It says it's not a lineage of concern and it isn't as contagious as the UK and South African strains. COVID cases in PNG are rising sharply with fears the country is on the brink of a health crisis. Meanwhile, in Tasmania, the government is setting up a wastewater testing program for COVID-19. Health Minister Sarah Courtenay says from next month, samples will be taken at wastewater treatment plants around the state and sent to South Australia for testing. The Health Minister also says Tasmania will be able to do its own testing by the end of the year. 2 brothers from Pakistan accused of forging $3 million worth of stamps have been granted bail. Court reporter Danny Tran has more.
Obaid Khan and his brother Shahriar Khan today fronted the Melbourne Magistrates Court where they're facing a string of deception charges. The men, who are students from Pakistan, were arrested after investigators allegedly uncovered 36 boxes of counterfeit stamps at their home in Brunswick East. They also seized a Rolex. Today, police opposed bail, raising concerns the men had access to cash, would destroy evidence and could flee the country. But Magistrate Kimberly Swadeser released them, finding that the time they spent on remand could exceed any sentence. The brothers will return to court in June.
The Olympic torch has begun its 4-month journey around Japan ahead of the delayed opening of the 2020 Games in Tokyo. More from Emma Jacobs.
Wearing a white tracksuit, athlete and first runner, Iwashimizu Azusa lit the torch in Fukushima's shadow. She ran surrounded by 14 other members of the 2011 Women's Football World Cup squad, who were also decked in white. The relay begins near the site of the 2011 earthquake, tsunami and the meltdown of 3 nuclear reactors, which resulted in the death of 18,000 people. Japan is determined to deliver the Olympics. 10,000 runners will take part in the relay, ensuring the torch arrives in time for the opening event on July 23rd.
A digital artwork created by a humanoid robot named Sophia has sold at auction for over $600,000. The sale is the latest sign of a boom in the market for so-called non-fungible tokens. You're listening to ABC News.
When history is made.
It's all over. India have won. India have won magnificently.
ABC Sport is there.
He's over the halfway line. Coming. Game, set, bingo. Premiership.
Commercial free.
The Tigers are still the best team in the land. 3 flags in 4 years for Richmond.
ABC Sport. On radio, online and on the ABC Listen app.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Jones bashes it straight to DeGoey. DeGoey off a step. DeGoey goals. What a start to Collingwood in the second term.
Socket off the ground by Adams. It works. It finds side bottom. Kicks to DeGoey on the lead. Here he is again. Directly in front. 35 metres out. Jordan DeGoey has 3. He's got a vacant 50. Gibbons is running hard. Puts it in the path of him. Gibbons runs onto it. Gathers hard against the boundary. Don't tell me.
That is a great goal.
Not just 1, but 2 goals of the night. He's a highlights machine at the MCG on round 2.
40 out, goes to the pocket, all on his own. Marks, curling kick and goal. My word, so. These momentum swings in modern 2021 footy are a sight to behold.
Oh, Elliott's hurt himself there in this contest.
He is grabbing at his left ankle.
I hope he hasn't broken it. He's in a hell of a lot of pain, the young man.
55 to the top of the goal square, up in front. Pitnet couldn't take the mark. Dacos, edge down, Plowman, gathered, snapped, and showcased his brilliance. Dacos, every bit his father there. Over the top, Jones a double fister. Thomas arrived, he kicked towards goal. DeGoey in the way, plucked it out of the air, snaps at goal, and pops through another. Jordan DeGoey, 4 goals in the first half in his 100th game.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Half-time at the MCG. The Auskick kids are departing the field. The umpires are coming back out. We'll have the second half for you very shortly. Collingwood 11-5-71. Carlton 8-3-51. The Pies by 20 points on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport with Alistair Nicholson and Matt Clinch calling the action. Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas, your experts. Tim Hodges is down on the boundary, and we can get an update on Jamie Elliott, who was subbed out of the game in the second term with an ankle injury. Tim Hodges.
Al, this is good news of sorts for the Magpies. That the Magpie media team have just let us know that Jamie Elliott is suffering a very severe sprain of the ankle. It is not a break, so that is good news. And I think that's why they probably did carry him off the ground rather than stretcher him off. So good news of sorts. Jamie Elliott out of this game, but it's not a broken ankle. It's a severely sprained ankle.
Tim Hodges always gets the news first down at boundary level. So many of your texts have been coming in on 0437 774 774. Shane Hart's out the back of Mornington. Bittenway, he says, go Pies. We should double up in the third quarter. Kurt Venning currently in the Pilbara in WA listening to the broadcast. Blues need to send Cripps forward to do something similar to DeGoey. Give him space to open up the Collingwood defenders. Put Petreski in the middle with pace, he says. Yeah. Thanks for your contribution, Kurt, on 0437 774 774. David at Tewkesbury in Tassie's listening. Go Pies, he says. And Charlie from East Melbourne, how glad I am that you've brought this up. Last week in the preview, one of your teams said he'd eat his hat if the Crows beat the Cats. Has he identified the headwear to be sacrificed? Well, Charlie, that person is in the commentary box tonight. His name, of course, is Mark McClure. Where's your Akubra sellers?
I don't need
what have you selected?
You can't eat one of them, you choke. I could probably eat a head of an Easter egg or something like that.
It's got to
Wouldn't
be a
mind
hat.
one of those.
A fedora?
Yeah, well,
Legionnaires?
What about a little, I don't know what to wear. So what's the smallest hat you can get?
What about one of those hats with a couple of little drink holders on the side? That's sort of your
I
wheelhouse.
think I could drink that. I don't know if I could eat it.
Not sure if you're aware, Charlie, but the show's called No Excuses, 1 o'clock on Saturday. I reckon it'll get a mention.
I think I'll have an excuse.
You
sore
came
throat.
up with the name of the show.
I don't care. I got a sore throat.
Andrew from eating your hat. Andrew from Euroa has he's steadying us up a bit. What do Carlton need to do to get back in the game, says Andrew? Rama and Sellers at halftime.
Well, Rama hit it on the head. Their contested possessions is 1. They sort out their defence to hold the goalies 2. And actually somehow Marshall, Darcy Moore in the back half, because he has been spectacular.
Yeah.
And you've got to sacrifice your game to do it. Who wants to do that? No one. Because I don't understand why, but that's how you win a game of football.
There's a couple of other concerns with Carlton at the moment. So Taylor Adams, Chris Pendlebury at the top of the stat sheet, where you've got Sard and Doherty at the top of the stat sheet.
And they're
for
half-backs.
Yeah, and then the half-backs. So Collingwood are clearly winning that midfield battle at the moment. So, you know, we need Walsh, Nunes, Zach Williams, Paddy Cripps, Fogarty, Curnow. They need to find more of the ball. They need to start to even this up, particularly around the middle of the ground. We've spoken continually about between the arcs and ball movement. So Carlton need to find a way to slow Collingwood down. We don't say that often about Collingwood, to slow them down, because they've always been such a slow-moving ball team. But tonight, you know, I think it's obviously some harsh words were spoken at Collingwood during the week, because their ball movement's been electric through that first half at times.
So Adams goes to Walsh, and he's had 11 possessions today instead of 31 last week.
Robin Montmorency reckons a taco sombrero. Sellers. Second half underway with Matt Flynn.
With the sangria.
There you go, the listeners helping you out. Grundy wins down the tap. Paddy Cripps onto it for Carlton. Hand pass forward. Rusco onto it for Collingwood, trying to win it. The sub in for Elliott. He lays a good tackle and then turns to the umpire, who will ball it up. So the Magpies heading to the city end in this third quarter, leading by 20 points. Thrown up, Grundy wins it down at half forward. Adams trying to knock a hand pass clear. He's had 8 clearances for the Pies. Martin can't pick it up cleanly. Sock it off the ground by Fogarty. That'll work. Noble gathers it at half back. Dow laid the tackle. Umpire had a look. He'll ball it up. Just short of half forward for the Blues.
Up it goes. Grundy tapped it down. Walsh underneath with Pendlebury. Holding on to it, Walsh. Grundy holding on to him. Neil's at the ground listening to our broadcast. He's suggesting Ed Curnow as a left field option for De Goey.
No, thanks.
Well, it's Liam Jones at the moment.
Yeah.
Cripps from the stoppage gave to Walsh. He kicks to the forward pocket. Martin and Quaynor. Martin edged out Quaynor. Didn't get the bounce he wanted, but he edges him out again and gets it. Quaynor
well done,
gets
Quaynor.
him. Ball dislodged. Persistence paying off for Collingwood. Noble runs it out of defence, playing onto advantage, but turned it over. And a mark for Doherty on the southern wing.
Doherty looking at his options. Nothing really short, so has to load up and send it long. Casbolt had a double back. Mackay at the back, spoils it down. Casbolt ran onto it. Roughhead ran onto him. Laid the tackle. Umpire says throw it in, as it goes out of play in the right forward pocket. Collingwood leading by 20 points, but Carlton deep in attack. Wiedering to do the ruck work. Pitnet to do the ruck work against Grundy here. Grundy one down the tap to Sidebottom, who gathers in the back pocket. Turns and kicks long to the southern wing. Myercheck came from a fair way back. Wiedering got a fist to it and spoiled it out of play for a boundary throw in. Right half forward for the Blues.
Tim Hodges downstairs on the boundary.
Just on Jacob Wiedering, Al, he ended the second term down in the rooms. It was work on his right hip. He's also got his right calf heavily strapped, so he's not moving 100% out there.
Thrown back in. Grundy the tap towards the boundary line. Tyler Brown gets it. Hand pass to Madgen. Under pressure at left half back. A hand pass to Pendlebury. When under pressure, he makes it look like he isn't. He goes defensively by hand to Madgen. Off to Roughhead. Roughhead at full back. Indecisive. Defensive hand pass to Madgen. He just wants to find a target. And Jeremy Howe is that in the left back pocket. He pulls the trigger on the kick into the middle. Quaynor runs onto it. Takes the bouncing ball. and bounces away from Petrevski-Seton. Gets his kick inside the 50. De Goey picks up. Hand pass to Callum Brown. Curling kick from 45. Bending, not enough. First score of the second half is a behind to Collingwood. It's the Pies by 21 at the 3-minute mark of the third.
I feel like some of the halfbacks in 2021 are going to live by the sword and die by the sword. Jeremy Howe rolled the dice. It worked out on that occasion. Plowman long out of defence, looking for Casbolt. He can't quite take the mark, and it's seen out of play by Steele Sidebottom. Collingwood by 21 points with a throw in on left half forward for the Pies. Thrown in onto the Great Southern Stand. Grundy in front position, taps it down straight to Walsh. He's tackled by Sidebottom. Umpire will come in and throw it up.
It's actually a great kick to Quona in the middle of the ground, on his own, on the bounce, bang, away they went.
From the stoppage, Sidebottom gets it, hand pass through the pack, didn't hit Adams. Ed Curnow got in the road, curling kick out of defence. Fogarty up in front, bounced off his chest. Tyler Brown another possession, defensive hand pass. Noble kicks to Cox, Cox nudged under the ball, gets to the back of the pack. Myercheck slides in. Little toe poke from Sard near the boundary line and a fumble. It's over for a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket, Collingwood in attack to the city end, leading by 21 points on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport.
Half-time in the NRL tonight. The Storm and the Panthers locked at 6-all, thrown back in. Callum Brown gathers, Liam Jones gathers him. No prior opportunity, and the umpire will toss it up in the left forward pocket. Plenty of numbers around this stoppage as the umpire throws it up. Pitting it down to the boundary. Adams screws it back to the goal mouth and bounces through. Taylor Adams superb from the boundary line, but we're going to have a look at this.
I think it's a goal.
Just to make sure that Plowman didn't get a touch onto it before it crossed the line.
Or was it Mason Cox? Did he get a touch on it?
Yeah. Plowman sliding in. I think that ball is over the line.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Oh, ooh.
It's a goal.
Are you going to agree on that, Sellers? Or no?
I'll wait for the umpire.
Okay.
They usually get it wrong.
They're actually checking if it's hit the post.
Checking if it brushed the post.
It's only hope, I think, the brushing the post.
Yeah. Just trying to zoom right in and see off the bounce. Did it clip it on the way through?
There's daylight.
I don't think so.
What?
So it's a long delay as they try and just make sure it didn't brush the post.
Well, if they can't guarantee it's a goal.
So the score review comes up on the big screen of the MCG. It is a goal. Taylor Adams, what can he do? 21 disposals, 10 clearances, 5 inside 50s, and now a goal. And the Magpies are the first of the third quarter, extend their lead to 27 points. 6 minutes gone, third term, 12-6-78 to the Blues, 8-3-51.
Well, it's an arm wrestle, really, for, what are we, 6.5 minutes now into this quarter. And then it's really something out of nothing. Terrific tap by Grundy into the space for Taylor Adams. And, look, it's a fluke. He's put it on the left boot, Taylor Adams.
He's trying to put it to the top of the square,
it's a miraculous goal. There's no doubt about that. But, for the arm wrestle and now for the momentum, that again shifts to Collingwood now.
Mason Cox is in the middle of post to Levi Casbolt, who runs around and comes from the side and actually from behind wins the tap down, and it ricochets back to him. A tumble punt to half forward. Fogarty took it. He's nailed. Fierce tackle by Howe. A ball up on the edge of the centre square at left half forward for Carlton. So the Blues need to find a few on end, as they did in that second term when they kicked 4 in a row. Walsh at the coalface. Hand pass out in front of Murphy. Murphy a little toe poke towards the 50. Roughhead tried to flick it up. News goes through. Umpire didn't see that he threw that out. Fogarty to Walsh. Defensive hand pass. Setterfield haven't called his name much. Kick inside the 50. Nunes dives. Almost takes a brilliant mark. Fogarty gets it again. Gives to Murphy. He's caught. Did he drag it in? The umpire says mine. A ball up near the boundary line in the left forward pocket. Crisp, vice-like around Murphy. Carlton in attack.
Tossed up, Mason Cox wins down the tap. Williams just unable to take it cleanly. Noble could for Collingwood. Switches play towards Callum Brown. Had to hit the target, he does. He marks inside the defensive 50 in front of Petrescu-Seaton. Around the boundary line to left half back, he kicks to Madgen. He continues further afield and Brodie Myercheck takes the mark. Collingwood by 27 points. And nothing really on offer in terms of tall targets along the southern wing. He's got no option but to put it long towards Pendlebury and De Goey. It clears them. Paddy Cripps at the back of the pack for Carlton. One way then the other. High ball towards half forward. Martin has to compete against a couple. Madgen couldn't take the mark. Moore takes it for Collingwood. Hand pass to Noble. Now to Pendlebury. Trying to find the right option around Fogarty. Hand pass back to Howe. Not a good option. Harry Mackay takes it to Murphy. Gives the hand pass to Martin. Surveys the forward 50. Good option. And Fogarty takes the mark. Just slightly right of centre, 45 metres out from goal.
Jeez, the rarest of rare mistakes by Scott Pendlebury there. Yeah. He usually uses every ball that he's got, but he looked around and he spun and he twisted and he turned and still there was no option. And then I don't know what that handball was from Pendlebury back into the middle of the ground, but it's a turnover.
Lockie Fogarty, the former Cat, comes in from 50, strikes it pretty good. To the goal post on the left-hand side, stays in play, Gibbons onto it, in the pocket, hand pass too sharp for centre field. Trey Roscoe in there, he's ducked in a tackle by Zach Williams and the ball rolls out of play in the left forward pocket for Carlton.
Can the Blues find one? They're trailing by 27, approaching the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. It got out to a 5-goal margin before they hit back in the second and got within 7 points. Casbolt takes it out of the rucker post to Cox, who would not let him go, and the umpire lets them play.
That's
wrong. How on earth? Boundary throw in, ball taken out.
I think they've given up on a few rules, haven't they?
That's your classic case. Ruckman takes it out of the air, tackled for an eternity, dropped it. Instead of boundary throw in, Cripps is going in ruck for Carlton opposed to Cox. No decisive knock. Side bottom and Walsh. Walsh did well to get it out to Nunes. 30 from goal off to Gibbons. Gibbons' hand pass to Ed Curnow. He chips. Mark to Fogarty.
That's gone 10 metres. Maximum 10.
So Cripps is in the ruck there inside forward 50. We see Tom Hawkins do that so often for Geelong where he uses his size to push the other ruckman a lot of the times out of the way. Cripps can do that. He's got that power to be able to shift the ruckman.
Fogarty for his first goal as a Blue. It's a critical kick for Carlton. He provides exactly what the Blues needed at the 11-minute mark of the third term. Carlton players celebrate with Lockie Fogarty. His first goal in navy blue. 12-6-78 Collingwood. Carlton 9-3-57.
I like the way they shared it. They gave it to each other and all of a sudden they didn't ping at the goal square and think, oh hell, I'm going to kick this goal from 55. Little chip pass. Fogarty's on the end of it. Starts to kick a goal. Is it his first goal for the Blues ever? Yeah. I think so. Well done to him. And they got themselves back in this game a little bit. They're only 21 points down at this stage. They've been there before. They only get a couple more goals, and the last quarter should be super. But they've got to hang on to the last quarter.
We'd love to hear from you, listeners tuning in on a sailing vessel on the coast of Turkey. Great to hear the footy again. We're going internationally, sellers.
Turkey.
Sailing vessel.
Turkey, Japan.
Amsterdam.
What about
the AFL app? You can tune in wherever you are around the world. Tell your friends and family. Dow gets the clearance at Carlton inside the 50. It lands just short of Mackay. At the back, Madgen tackled. Had it a while. Good tackle, Fogarty.
Oh, yeah.
Fisher pounces. Snaps and goals. Great finish from Zach Fisher. And the Tom Alvin lookalike strikes truly at the 12-minute mark of the third quarter.
Yes, Clinchie.
I knew the mullet would be your liking, Rammer.
We spoke about that last week.
Needs something for Carlton to give them a spark, and the margin is cut back to 15 points.
Oh, it does look. He definitely does look like Tommy Alvin from the back. No doubt, just get a little ponytail going. It's great to see Harry Mackay has learnt his lesson. Now, again, he gets that ball late. So it doesn't allow more into the marking contest. Ball hits the ground and it's chaos. So you know, then you're making your own luck. inside forward 50. When the ball's on the ground inside forward 50, it always makes any defender nervous. Great tackle by Fogarty. Kicks the goal previous, then applies the pressure, and then Fisher with the goal.
2 small forwards in a row.
Yeah.
Pitnett and Grundy. Grundy the tap down, releases Adams, bursts onto the ball and bangs forward for Collingwood. Myercheck in a wrestle. Wiedering knocked it to the back. Williamson paddles. He's bumped off it. Tries to pull it back in. Myercheck tries to rip it away. Rolling maul. Umpire calls for a ball up. 35 from the Collingwood goal at the City end right forward pocket.
Quickly tossed up. 2 ruckmen in a tangle. Neither got a hand to it. To go, he's at the back. Plowman landed right in his back. The umpire is going to pay hold of the footy. I don't think he saw the first one.
Can't believe it.
And much relief to Lockie Plowman. He'll take the free kick in the left back pocket. Carlton with the last 2 goals of the match to cut the margin to 15 points. Plowman's long kick towards Grundy, who rises on the back of Pitnett. Brody's found his groove again. Inside the 50, Myercheck the target. Plowman flew over the back, brought it down. Martin with a kick to Fisher, who's sliding in down low, takes the mark for the Blues.
Hand pass to Sard. Sard kicks towards the wing. Ed Curnow sandwiched between 2 pies. The kick was so precise he was able to take the mark. Ed Curnow, defensive side of the members' wing. Plays on, kicks Carlton to half forward. Mackay and Roughead. Mackay in front. Roughead the spoil towards the boundary. Fisher takes it out of play. Between the members and Olympic stand, attacking side of the wing for Carlton. Collingwood by 15 points. 14-minute mark, 3rd quarter. Al Nicholson and Matt Clinch calling with Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas. Tim Hodges on the boundary. If you weren't with us earlier, Jamie Elliott, an ankle injury. He's the medical sub. We're told that it's not a break, but he's been subbed out of the game. Blues get moving forward through Dow. Fisher another possession. He's caught. Got it to Walsh by hand of Fogarty. Off to Gibbons. Gibbons, scrubby kick inside the 50. Walsh had it clatter into his knees. Then he picked up, was tackled by Noble, and is taken over the boundary in the left forward pocket for the Blues.
Sam Walsh has that left quad heavily strapped, so clearly got a corky. 4 kicks, 12 handballs. Hasn't been effective as last week.
Waiting for the Blues is 16 disposals. Down from the throw-in. Kick was smothered. Gibbons almost onto it. Couldn't take it cleanly. And the reinforcements arrive for Collingwood. Moore and Howe to lock him up. 15 metres out from the Blues goal at the punt road end.
Got to find a way to keep it in there.
Carlton can pinch one here. The game comes alive once more. Thrown up. Pitnett knocks it down towards Cripps. Couldn't take it. Dacos had it and lost it. Gibbons with a kick towards Walsh on his back. He couldn't quite snap it over his head, and it's rushed through for a minor score. Collingwood's lead is 14 points at the 16-minute mark of the 3rd term.
Darcy Moore's going to bring it back in for Collingwood. He's looking to the members' side of the ground, and he sends a long drop punt. Wiedering out points Mason Cox and takes the mark in front of a taller opponent.
Too agile.
70 from goal. Hand pass to Doherty. Deep entry for Carlton. Cripps is the deepest target. In a wrestle, it gets to the back, it bounces. There's a free kick for a hole. Went through for a minor score, but this will be a Collingwood free kick against the Carlton captain, Patrick Cripps. Moore's going to take it on the edge of the goal square for Collingwood. 12-6-78 the Pies. Carlton 10-4-64, 16-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
So the 12 disposals, Paddy Cripps probably hasn't had the impact which we've seen in some games in previous seasons.
Oh, that was.
The kick to half back from Moore is marked by Sam Walsh. Turns on his right boot. Oh, who to? Harry Mackay at the back. Got up, couldn't quite take the mark. Gibbons front and centre. He's brought down by 2. Maynard and Dacos. Pendlebury gathers for Collingwood. Hand pass out to Noble. Retreats back. Gets the hand pass to Madgen. A wobbly kick off a step towards the boundary line. And it's spoiled across the line by Sard in front of Thomas.
That's good stuff by the Blues. Repeat entry after repeat entry. Keep pushing it in there. Wear them down the defence. But they're kicking to that spot. Just 10 metres out from the square is the wrong spot to go.
Collingwood got out by 27 points at the 5-minute mark of the 3rd. Carlton with the last 2. Pitnett punches back towards the boundary. We'll have another throw-in. It was Collingwood by 18 at quarter time, 20 at half-time, and 14 as it stands at the moment. Carlton having a good period of 6 or 7 minutes here, though, of sustained attack. It's 60 from the Carlton goal. Grundy's tap down, taken by Pendlebury, lifts the arms, gets away from a would-be tackler. Brilliant hand pass, releases Dacos, a bounce on the member's wing. He surveys what's ahead of him. Kicks towards half forward, Jones and De Goey. De Goey holding on, Jones knocks it down, Podrevsky-Seaton gets it at half-back, off to Sard, off to Dow. Through the corridor come the Blues, off to Fogarty. Four to the circle, kicks towards Cripps. No, more the spoil and the rove. Brilliant hand pass away to Quaynor. This game is going up a gear.
Kicks towards Tyler Brown, couldn't take the mark against Setterfield. Murphy comes in for the Blues, gets the hand pass to Setterfield, to Petreski-Seaton, the fend off on Rusco, turns and kicks inside to Fisher. Howe just couldn't quite take the mark, worked him underneath the footy. Harry Mackay takes it, he's tackled by two, Taylor Adams and Darcy Moore. And that's where play will come to a halt. 35 metres out from Carlton's goal.
And the defence holds up again, the Pies.
Collingwood by 14 points. Thrown up, Cripps takes it out of the ruck, kicks towards a vacant goalmouth. Noble races back, rode the bump of Mackay, and Darcy Moore once more, calm and composed, finds Dacos to Quaynor. Walsh gets him, just got rid of it at the last moment. Dacos feeds it back to Howe. He puts it out on the full. It's coming back. Carlton will take it at left half forward under the Olympic stand.
This time last year, the fans couldn't leave home. They're leaving their seats every 5 seconds at the moment. Kick comes infield from Nunes to Walsh. Walsh, the deep kick towards Mackay, punched away by Roughhead, out of play next to the left behind post, Sellers and Rammer.
He just had to lower his eyes then, Walsh. Zach Fisher, just a nice little lead. There's a simple little 20-metre kick for Walsh. Yeah, he missed him there. Just got to lower those eyes.
Carlton deep in attack. Pitnet and Grundy share it down. Going through, almost taken by Murphy. Clearing kick from Pendlebury towards the boundary. I think he'll be pinned here.
He's going to ping him.
Oh, look at him. Look at him.
He couldn't wait to get there. He couldn't wait. Should be in the school gift.
If he was the back marker, Sellers, he won the race. He was going that quickly.
That was extraordinarily wrong.
Fisher from left half forward. The chip kick to the pocket. Cripps comes out, almost took the mark on his chest. Quaynor fighting with Cripps for the ball. It comes out the back to Howe. Away to Dacos. Clearing ball through half-back, a bouncing one. Cox edged out by Wiedering. Doherty gets it. Floating hand pass. Sard evades Crisp. Dropped the ball. Got it again. Left foot kick inside the 50. Nunes comes to meet it. Couldn't take it. Fogarty farms up a hand pass. Gibbons lurking again on the edge of the pack. He couldn't get it. Cripps shot it out to Murphy. Off to Fisher. Banana hit the middle of the ball. Out of bounds on the full.
It's a let off.
Free kick, Collingwood left back pocket. Carlton attacking in waves and waves, but with only a couple of goals to show for it. 20 played, third term, Collingwood by 14.
Carlton 13-5 inside 50s for the quarter. They've just dominated the quarter, putting it in there, but just cannot get a score.
It manages the 2-1 to Collingwood's 1-1. The margin is Collingwood by 14 points. As Moore switches across the defensive goal mouth to Roughhead.
See, right now, obviously Carlton are dominating. They're dominating possession in this game. Really stopped all of Collingwood's run.
Jack Crisp has it for Collingwood. He finds Josh Thomas at right half back. Thomas waits for players to run into space.
Great lead.
Callum Brown is working so hard. He marks on his chest in front of the two benches.
He worked from the centre circle there to right in front of the benches to get that mark, Cal Brown.
To go, he is long, doesn't quite have the measure for that kick. Instead goes to Grundy against three. Couldn't take the mark. Walsh is able to toe poke it to Doherty. Back to Walsh. To Dow at centre half back. Tough consignment for Williamson. Brought down. Great tackle. Taylor Adams.
Should have been gone.
Ed Curnow got it forward. No whistle. Petreski-Seaton tried to thread the needle to Gibbons. It was over his head. Quaynor picks it up. Hand pass away to Crisp. And now to Sidebottom. He kicks to half forward. This time a good mark, repelling at half back. And Setterfield has it on the back of the centre square.
Setterfield switches the play to left half back. Williams had a bright start, but needs to work his way back into the game. He takes the mark. He kicks to half forward. Quaynor's got the city. Rises, punches away from Nunes. Sard, a brilliant rove. Tries to take on Crisp. Got a hand pass away. He was led, said the umpire. Play on to advantage. Nunes to Mackay. One-on-one with Moore. What more can he do? He edges out Harry Mackay and holds the mark. Another one-on-one win. He was perhaps right on the edge.
Yeah, well, look, Moore held the front position there. Harry should have just barreled into him and tried to take the big mark over him. Caused a bit of damage.
Collingwood out to Madgen, and then Tyler Brown dropped the mark. He's in a scrap now. Centre field.
3 on 2.
Got it
They
to
should win
Petruski.
that.
Seaton. Good tackle. Maynard got the arm. And forced the ball out of play.
See, the thing is, fellas, when you're in a one-on-one marking contest and your opponent has beaten you a couple of times in the game, you look at them and you forget to look at the football. So there, Mackay, he's looking at Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore's looking at the football.
Wouldn't
he
you?
takes
He's
the mark.
outmarked him
Yeah,
10
but that's
times.
what but you got to look at the football.
I know that.
Thrown in on half forward. Walsh with a hand pass around the boundary. Murphy cleverly tapped it on to play. Tyler Brown gathers in the back pocket. 1-2 with Madgen.
Oh,
The Howe
gone.
bumped into Fisher. Carlton come up with it. Gibbons to Fisher. Screws it back to the goal mouth. Mackay and Moore. Mackay lost his footing. Moore couldn't take the mark. Sprawling
This
forward.
is good stuff, isn't it?
Rolls out of play.
This is great footy when you think about it. Hard, tough, unrelenting,
Out of play in
continual
the
attack.
right forward pocket for the Blues.
All the elements are there. Collingwood leading by 14 points. It's defence under sustained pressure. Williams goes through without winning it. Howe's kick smothered. Quaynor gets a hand pass pinched by Williams. Here's his moment. A left foot snap. Marked. Harry Mackay playing in front this time. Gets it on the edge of the goal square. He's only 10 metres out to the left of centre.
Well, he's watching the ball. He's watching the flight of the ball sellers.
He's in the right spot.
Yeah.
This is this is a little reward for the effort that they've put in for the last 10 minutes.
He's got to kick it.
Repeat. He'll kick this.
He's got to
misses
kick it.
this.
Harry Mackay goes the banana and works it through. Carlton is working its way back into the game. An 8-point lead to Collingwood after the Pies had led by 27. Approaching the 11-minute mark of this term. We're now at the 24-minute mark. And Collingwood leads 12-6-78. Carlton 11-4-70. The Blues with the last 3.
And Harry Mackay should be thanking every one of those smalls around the place, because seriously they just kept pumping it back in there and pumping it back in there, and eventually they find a way. Hit Harry Mackay on the chest. Paddy Dow, Walsh, Gibbons, those sort of guys around the place have just been fantastic again and again, punching it back in there, and their midfield as well. Harry Mackay's on the end of it, and they're back within scoring range. 8 points of difference.
3 goals won to 1 goal won. 20 more disposals to Carlton. They've fixed up their contested possessions. They're plus 13 now, inside 50s. 15-5 this quarter.
Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McClure with you on Grandstand AFL. Grundy wins down the tap. Crisp coming through. Couldn't take it cleanly for Collingwood. Williams lays the tackle, and Sires on the very bottom. Umpire to toss it up just to the right of the centre circles. Grundy and Pitnet once more. Tap down to Sire. Quick hand pass to Adams. Squeeze the kick inside 50. It bounces in the direction of Cox. Over him. Pendlebury clean as always. Hand pass back to Sidebottom. Spins out of traffic. Chips it back to Pendlebury. Can't pull it in. It's just wide. And it goes out of play just inside the 50 for Collingwood at the city end of the MCG.
So Buckley's moving into the forward line because his midfield stuff's been a little bit just average, I would think, Pendles. He's slightly off. Is he injured? We don't know.
Thrown in on the 50. Grundy took it out of the ruck. Squaring ball. Thomas a chance to fly. Petrevski-Seaton knocked it down. Sidebottom took it. Petrevski-Seaton got him, but he brushed the tackle. Hand pass into the middle. De Goey, just his second possession of the quarter. A hand pass to Madgen. Madgen kicks to half forward. No real shepherd from Howe. Thomas gets it. 45 out. Squaring ball. Cox! Didn't mark. Got his hands to it. Had the arms chopped. Free kick, Collingwood. 30 out directly in front, and that is Mason's trademark range.
Well, ultimately, that's the only way you're gonna beat that.
He didn't actually. He actually dropped it before he hit his arm, but that doesn't matter. If you hit the arm, that's the score.
That's it. That's the rule.
That's the rule. I understand completely. It's very hard to outreach.
That's a very marginal call. Yeah. Mason Cox on approach to the city end. He never misses from there. Another settler for Collingwood just when Carlton was coming hard. Mason Cox puts Collingwood back out to a 14-point lead. 27 played, third term on Grandstand AFL. 13-6-84 Collingwood. Carlton 11-4-70. Can the Pies get a run on now?
Well, you're right there, Alice. It's just a settler. Carlton have dominated play here in this quarter, as we've mentioned, but smart kick by Josh Thomas to the point of the square in a nice range for Mason Cox where he could jump at the ball. But you look there in that passage of play, side bottom was heavily involved. You know, a couple of times where he was able to dance through traffic. Petreski said he needed to hold that tackle at centre half forward on side bottom. Try and get a stoppage there at centre half forward. Rather, side bottom's able to twist out, find Thomas.
15-7, the inside 50s Carlton's way in this third quarter. Collingwood answer back. Pitnet wins down the tap. Grundy's hand pass missed the target.
Well done,
Fogarty came in, sidesteps, kicks inside the 50. Harry Mackay takes the mark in front of Darcy Moore, who slipped over.
That came about because Fogarty actually ran at the ball with some speed. He wasn't going to worry about who came the other way, picked it up and just dodged them, and then a kick into the forward line, and Harry Mackay on the end of it. So that was really good by Fogarty.
Fogarty's not a household name by any stretch, but he'll prove to be a very good pickup for Carlton.
Directly in front, 35 metres out for the immediate response for Carlton. Harry likes it, and so do the Carlton fans at the punt road end. What an intriguing battle it's been. Darcy Moore, one of the best players on the ground, and Harry Mackay all of a sudden has kicked four.
Well, that's right.
Collingwood lead by 8. 13-6-84 to the Blues, 12-4-76.
So we've sung the praises of Moore all night, but now Harry Mackay's got 4 goals, so he's a real factor in this game now, and it's because he's starting to play in front now.
He's moving forward.
Yes, correct. He's not getting pushed under the ball.
Correct.
Where Moore likes it. He nudges his player under the ball, and he can take those intercept marks. Mackay's waiting now. He's waiting for the last moment, then accelerating into the ball, taking a mark.
There's nothing wrong with failure to actually improve it, because he failed 3 or 4 times in the first half. Now he's doing what he's supposed to do. Move forward towards the ball.
Learned his lesson.
John's listening to the Premier AFL commentary team in northern Laos. Thanks for keeping stranded Australians in touch with home, says John.
Laos.
I don't know what the locals would be thinking of it. We've got a cracking game, and good to have you with us, John. Out of the middle, Syra, hand pass over his head to Crisp. Collingwood goes forward towards Cox. Out comes Wiedering. Hands to it, no mark. In dispute, comes to the back. Myercheck, hand pass, Cox, snaps. Cox misses. Touched on the way through. Oh, behind to Collingwood. Moments everywhere at the MCG. Score review. Go to the arc.
30 minutes again.
30 minutes and 14 seconds, Sellers.
Yeah, but all quarters have gone over 32, 33.
It's confirmed as a behind to Collingwood, a lead of 9 points to the Magpies on Grandstand AFL on ABC Sport.
Yeah, Wiedering got a hand on it.
Doherty brings the Blues back into play, long towards Casbolt from behind against Roughhead, spoils it down, swooping onto it, Curnow, turns onto his left-hand side, kicks straight to Quaynor. He'll mark on the members' side of the MCG.
Middle of the ground. Oh, go back to the middle. Tyler Brown's standing all on his own.
Missed him.
Don't give me any
1
hints,
minute's
Rammer.
gone. Kicks towards Mason Cox. Grundy was there as well. Neither can take the mark at ground level. Petreski seating under the pump. Hand pass out to Martin. He's locked up by Roughhead. There's nowhere to go. And the umpire will toss it up at right half forward for Collingwood. Who would you give the points to out of Mackay and Moore?
I don't know. I suppose 4 goals is a big score, isn't it? In this sort of game.
It's the gap was quite large after that first quarter, but I think Mackay's pegged it back. Now coming into the 3/4 time break.
He's been pretty good, Darcy Moore.
Oh, no doubt. But it was a wide gap.
But now he's changed the way he plays, and all of a sudden Darcy comes into it. Doesn't come into it as much.
So a free kick to Cripps, who got one in the back. He kicked to the wing, no mark in the pack. Martin after it, sliding in Grundy. He's caught by Martin. He dragged that in. The umpire lets them play. Collingwood come away. Massive tackle. Maynard. Crisp, in fact, caught by Fogarty. Ed Curnow inside 50. Mackay, hands to it, no mark. And guess who at the back? Darcy Moore. It's like a couple of heavyweight boxers landing jabs at the moment. Moore away to Maynard. Maynard kicks Collingwood to the wing. Myercheck couldn't mark. Ed Curnow goes through. Took contact bravely. Got a hand pass out to Doherty. Doherty kicks to half forward. Too wide of Fogarty. Out of bounds on the full free kick. Collingwood. Maynard uses it quickly. Finds side bottom centre wing.
What a high quality game this is. Tremendous.
Such an entertaining battle. Two sides who hope to be competing in finals. Collingwood, who did so last year. Carlton, who desperately desire to be there. Side bottom around the boundary line to Pendlebury. It's enough time for one more Collingwood attack if they have the intent to do so. Pendlebury kicks to the pocket, looking for Myercheck. Wiedering up is able to spoil it into the crowd.
Still time, Clinchy.
It's great to have a crowd there as well.
It's going to tick over 33 minutes again for the third time.
It's down Collingwood's end of the ground. 40 metres from goal. Grundy takes front position on Pitnet, palms it down to Degoe, dangerous. He's tackled, got a hand pass to no one in particular. Williams, a good clean pick up for Carlton, runs through centre half back, pulls the kick hard left to half back and finds Petrevski-Seton. Off to Martin, needs to run the gauntlet. Denied by the siren. Captivating, engrossing. You can't take your eyes away for a second. Super night of football unfolding at the MCG in front of a big crowd. 13-7, 85 Collingwood. Carlton 12-4, 76. The Blues with 4 goals won in that term. Collingwood with 2 goals too. The Magpies got out by 27 points and held that lead until the 11-minute mark of the third quarter. Carlton, though, responded and kicked 4 of the next 5 goals. The margin at three-quarter time, 9 points to the Pies after the lead by 18 at quarter time and 20 at the half. 4 goals to Jordan Degoe, all of those in the first half of football. 2 goals to Brodie Myercheck, 2 goals to Jamie Elliott, who was subbed out of the game in the second quarter with a right ankle injury. Looked bad at the time. He is on crutches, but the medical team has conveyed through the media team at Collingwood to Tim Hodges on the boundary that it is not a broken ankle. So good news for Jamie Elliott as much as his night is over. Single goals to Dacos, Adams, side bottom, Hoskin, Elliott and Cox. For Carlton, Harry Mackay has had a totally absorbing duel with Darcy Moore. 4 goals for Mackay, 3 goals to Jack Martin, 2 goals to Gibbons, both of them absolutely spectacular. Fogarty a goal, Fisher a goal, Pitternet a goal. And I cannot wait for the next half hour. 13-7, 85 Collingwood, Carlton 12-4, 76. We hope you're enjoying it as much as we are on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Changes we've made to help stop the spread need to continue into the future. Remember to keep making COVID-safe choices, like maintaining physical distancing, practicing good hygiene, and wearing a mask when needed. To protect others, stay at home when unwell and get tested for COVID-19. Keep the COVID Safe app active so you can be contacted if needed. Together, let's keep going and stay safe. Find out more at health.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Plenty of numbers around this stoppage as the umpire throws it up. Pitnet down to the boundary. Adams screws it back to the goal mouth and bounces through.
30 from goal off to Gibbons. Gibbons' hand pass to Ed Curnow. He chips. Mark to Fogarty. Fogarty for his first goal as a Blue. It's a critical kick for Carlton. He provides exactly what the Blues needed.
Dowell gets the clearance of Carlton inside the 50. It lands just short of Mackay. At the back, Madgen tackled, had it a while, but tackled Fogarty. Fisher pounces, snaps out goals. And the Tom Alvin lookalike strikes truly at the 12-minute mark of the third quarter.
Yes, Clichy.
I knew the mullet would be your liking grammar.
Quaynor gets a hand pass, pinched by Williams. Here's his moment, a left foot snap, marked. Harry Mackay playing in front this time. Gets it on the edge of the goal square. Harry Mackay goes the banana and works it through. Carlton is working its way back into the game. Thomas gets it, 45 out, squaring ball. Cox didn't mark. Got his hands to it, had the arms chopped. Free kick, Collingwood on approach to the city end. He never misses from there.
Grundy's hand pass missed the target. Fogarty came in, sidesteps, kicks inside the 50. Harry Mackay takes the mark in front of Darcy Moore, who slipped over. Directly in front, 35 metres out for the immediate response for Carlton. Harry likes it. And so do the Carlton fans at the punt road end.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
It's a Thursday night cracker on Grandstand AFL. 13-7, 85 Collingwood. Carlton 12-4, 76. The Blues trailed the game by 5 goals in the second quarter and by 27 points at one stage during the third quarter. Each time they have fought back, though, and they are right in this at the final change. In the NRL tonight, still 6 points apiece between the Melbourne Storm and the Penrith Panthers, and that is after 64 minutes of play in Sydney's West.
Just a round of applause for the fans of both sides for prostate cancer. Of course, it's the Richard Pratt Cup between Carlton and Collingwood, so trying to do their bit for the community alongside putting on what's been a cracking game of footy.
And look at the stands.
It feels alive,
fabulous,
doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the crowd is posted at. Tim Hodges is usually pretty good with his estimations, has a bit more news from the boundary as well.
No, that is a lie. He doesn't get estimations. He gets information.
No.
Get him in the quaddie.
An exact number will do. Hodgie, down to you, mate.
Well, the MCC said between 55 and 60,000 they were expecting. They're never wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the low 60s. It's been just fantastic to see so many people back at the footy. Just wanted to pose a question to Rama. You were here last Thursday night. You saw in the second half when Oscar McDonald was injected into that game as the medical sub. Do you think it would be raised in the Carlton coaching box? Is there a bloke we could fire out of this game so we could get Oscar McDonald into this game for what he could bring in these last 30 minutes, which could prove game-changing?
I think ideally right now, Carlton would want Levi Casbolt out of the game and then Oscar McDonald to help give some aerial support to Harry Mackay forward. So, Casbolt's been pretty quiet in this game. Only the 4 possessions. He had a set shot in that first quarter and it went out in the full. So he's been mostly ineffective in this game. And McDonald would move now. He'd create space behind him for Mackay to lead into. So I think that would be Carlton's ideal situation at the moment.
All right, Ramos, Sellers, what are we going to see in the next half hour here?
I got no idea, but what I did see is I saw De Goey stopped by Liam Jones. Hardly anything that quarter except for Liam Jones went to him and pulled him up. Then Darcy Moore, Mackay took over from Darcy Moore. We talked about it at half-time. Those two are the killers for the Carlton. And that quarter turned it round completely. It was amazing and it was good. And the crowd have really entered into this game. And look, both sides are a chance to win this. We don't know who. Have no idea. It's been a spectacular game. Doesn't really matter who wins. I suppose it does. But
definitely does, Sellers.
Might change the mood of a few supporter groups.
All right then, Sellers. Collingwood are going to win. Are you happy with that?
No.
Well, 0-2 is a very
great,
difficult position to be in if you want to play in the finals. 58 teams have started 0-2. Only 5 have made the finals of the last 58. 0-2. Final term underway. Grundy tapped it down. Volleyed forward by Adams. Petreski-Seaton gets it for Carlton. Hand pass to Sard and out of defence they come. Murphy and Quaynor. Couple of Beverly Hills juniors going at it there. Both in number 3. And it's knocked out by Quaynor over the boundary line where umpire Ian Burrows will hurl it back into play.
Best in the business. Well, we don't see him in the ABC office anymore because we all work from home.
Does he really?
He's the hardest worker going around. Gibbons, centre wing members side, kicks to Casbolt. Quaynor coming the other direction. Did well to put him off. Murphy hand pass to Setterfield. To Walsh, feeds it back to Casbolt at the point of the centre square.
That's a horrible kick.
Darcy Moore got rid of Mackay and it's an easy mark.
I tell you what, he should give himself an uppercut and he might be able to get off then.
Sellers' advice, give yourself an uppercut. I'm trying to find out how many intercept possessions Darcy Moore's had.
16.
You have a look, Rama.
16.
He's looking for world record numbers. Plowman inside the 50, clears Mackay and also Moore. Jeremy Howes at the back to clean it up for Collingwood. Hand pass to Noble on the bounce. Has to feed it back to Howe. Hard against the boundary. Dribbles a kick around the line. It comes off Pitnett's knee. And it goes over the line for a throw-in right on the paint of 50.
Yeah, Darcy Moore's had 16 intercept possessions now in this game.
I think that gives him the points, doesn't it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, if Mackay kicks 2
5.
more, six for the game.
Thrown back into play. Carlton attacking the city end. It's on their 50. Grundy a tap down. Crisp got it. He's tackled by Cripps. Gave to Grundy off to Pendlebury. Ed Curnow comes into contest with Pendles. And the umpire will ball it up 55 metres from the Carlton goal at right half forward. 13-7-85 Collingwood. Carlton 12-4-76. A try to Melbourne Storm in the Rugby League. 67 minutes in. 10-6.
Grundy against Cripps doing the ruckwork for Carlton. Walsh seemed to be taken high. No whistle. Cripps has another go. The hand pass to the run of Sard. Brown trying to drag him down at the last moment. Did enough to put him off his kick. And Roughhead takes the mark for Collingwood in front of Levi Casbolt. Goes straight down the middle. Maynard had to wait a while. Plowman almost got there to spoil. Now Maynard under the pump as he's ridden into the turf by Williams. Not once but twice.
Smart.
Pendlebury so clever with his toe poke. Opens up the middle of the ground. DeGoey onto it. Hand pass into space. Side bottom runs onto it. Back to DeGoey. Kicks to the lead of Trusco. Not paid.
That's a mark.
That was a mark.
Yeah, Trey Roscoe had it long enough in the eyes of the umpire.
Yeah, it was terrific by Pendlebury. Just a little toe poke there at centre half back. They saw both side bottom and DeGoey in the clear. And that just set it up. They were able to wax a little bit through the middle of the ground, Pendlebury and DeGoey, and then DeGoey smart enough to hit Roscoe on the chest.
Collingwood by 9 points, a chance for the first of the final term. Trey Roscoe directly in front, 40 metres from goal, comes in, lights it off the boot. The sub having an impact. With Jamie Elliott off the ground, having kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. Collingwood's lead is now 15 points. 14-7-91 to Carlton 12-4-76. 4 minutes gone, final turn.
Critically, Collingwood has kicked the first goal of every quarter in this game. And often a few in red time, as well as was the case with Richmond last week against Carlton.
Crunch time's come. Can the Blues stand up or can't they? This is the big key. Last week they didn't. They played a really good game against Richmond, the best side in the competition. They hung in there the three-quarter time, and then the last 15 minutes of that game, they fell apart. This is a test for them.
It's no good being a hang-in-there side if you want to play finals.
I agree. It's the test.
The Blues need to find something. Pitnet knocked it down. Cripps gets a tackle by Pendlebury. Hand pass away to Ed Curnow. Looping ball for Walsh. Walsh needs to dispose of it. Ran into Brown. Callan Brown. Got a hand pass away to Sard. Sard's kick inside the 50. Quaynor intercepts. He's got it at left half back for Collingwood. Comes to the wing. A ball that bounces obligingly for Callan Brown. His squaring ball over Grundy's head. Wiedering there. Myercheck there. Doherty coming the other way. Myercheck might have got one in the back here as Doherty was breaking, pushing the back against Jacob Wiedering, and Myercheck a chance to kick Collingwood forward again.
Too late.
Mason Cox on the lead. He lost Plowman, who's given up on the chase, and Mason overran the foot. He got underneath it and allowed Plowman to gather and kick to Doherty. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. Kick short to Mark Murphy, around the boundary line to Martin.
Come on, come towards the ball. Someone.
Not a lot of movement. Martin has to push right back behind his mark. He's called to play on. Maynard comes at him. So Martin just puts a high direction towards Casbolt and Mackay. Howe was coming from a long way back. Rammer was right onto him. Didn't take the mark, but he does end up with a footy at the front position. Hand pass to DeGoey. Now to Pendlebury at the back edge of the centre square, looking for options. Goes to Mason Cox. This time it's 6. Back to Pendlebury. He started it. Takes the bounce. Now a second. Gets to 40. The Collingwood captain can't finish.
It's the post.
It's the post. Maybe just running out of petrol as he got within 40. Collingwood's lead is 16 points at the 6-minute mark of the final term.
In 2 weeks' time, Jeremy Howe will take Mark of the Year.
Yep.
Because that had Jeremy Howe screamer written all over it, but he chose to spoil.
Haven't seen enough of that of late. Wiedering goes down the middle of the MCG. In front, superb Mark Crisp opposed to 2 Blues. Jack Crisp on the edge of the square. Collingwood looking like winners at the moment. Crisp kicks inside the 50. Rusco there with Jones. Back comes Wiedering, gets a fist to the ball. Crashing in Myercheck. Taken by Jones. Comes to Cox. His high ball to the top of the goal square. Martin back with a flight for Carlton. Marks on the last line and kicks to the right back pocket. Petrevski-Seaton's away.
Feeds the hand pass to Doherty against the boundary line. Drives a kick to the wing. Dow underneath it. Maynard did enough to spoil him. Noble gathers. Hand pass to Roughhead. Back to Maynard around the boundary line. Sire takes the mark on his chest. Just takes a moment or two to look for short options. Inboard to Pendlebury.
Just controlling the tempo at the moment here, Collingwood.
Collingwood captain leading the way with 27 disposals. Sets it high and long towards Mason Cox. Hanging on, going on.
What?
Now, is it Cox or De Goey? I think it's going to be Mason's shot on goal. In the marking contest, I think Liam Jones just held him back as Mason Cox
sure
was trying to spring his launch into the marking contest. So he's on a 45-degree angle, only about 25 metres out. Having kicked a goal in the third quarter.
Is it De Goey? De Goey wants to get the handball.
Of course he does.
Just asking the question. This would make it tough for the Blues to stretch it out to a 22-point advantage. Mason Cox comes in, left forward pocket, it fades to the right.
Should have given it to Goey.
You're a harsh judge. Collingwood by 17.
The party, isn't it?
So Petrevski-Seaton's going to have a crack at kicking in. He goes to the bloke who had been doing it, Waitering in the left back pocket. All of a sudden, Carlton looking a little tired and flat-footed. Waitering's going to kick it long towards the wing, towards Cripps on Crisp. Free kick. And over the shoulder free kick against Crisp. A free kick to the Carlton captain, who has not had his usual influence tonight. He kicks to half-back, and Waitering looks to the corridor, sees nothing initially. He goes defensively back towards fullback and Plowman. Plowman now down the middle. There's the kick.
Super.
Finds Petrevski-Seaton. Sard went by but was closed down. Petrevski-Seaton out wide to the southern side to Cripps. Cripps kicks to half forward. Fisher's got to wait back with a flight. Imagine the spoil. It's on the ground. It's picked up for Collingwood by Moore. Hand pass to Dacos. Off to Crisp. Kicks to the wing to Hoskin Elliott. Collingwood starting to control it now.
Petrevski-Seaton needed runners coming past there. He goes sideways to Paddy Cripps. That allows Collingwood just to roll back, get the numbers there. The ball was going to Fisher, but it was 3-on-1 to Fisher. Easy spoil in the end.
Hoskin Elliott into side bottom, who's called to play on. Squeezes a kick to no one really at half forward, although Jack Crisp,
great mark,
backpedaling, was able to take the mark. Turns onto his left-hand side, long towards De Goey and Cox. And Cox at the back takes the mark. Such an imposing figure when the footy's just put on his head.
Well, one thing with tall guys, they don't get any smaller as the game wears on.
Yeah, they're hard to outreach, and then you've got probably a mismatch in size there. Plowman again.
Well, Liam Jones.
Liam Jones is on one of them.
Yeah,
he's 199, Liam Jones. Jeez,
he's a big boy.
When you're stationary, there's not much you can do.
This bloke's 7 foot.
Take two. Right forward pocket, 20 metres out. This time, Mason Cox salutes and gives Collingwood a 23-point advantage at the 10-minute mark of the final term. 15-9-99 to the Blues, 12-4-76. Mason has two.
And he's hard to handle at this time of the game. Late in the game, he's tall, he's hard to manoeuvre out of the way. He gets in the right positions. They're moving the ball in with haste. There's not too many people around him at this stage. And he's on Lockie Plowman, who's probably a foot and a half shorter than him at this stage. So, very well done by Mason Cox. Kicked a couple, one in the third, and then one in the last, or two in the last, is it? Two in the last.
One.
One in the last, just a two, yeah, that's right. So the one in the third, one in the fourth. Good on him, puts his side back in front, and really in control of the game. Pendlebury settled it down, and Mason Cox just about finished it off.
I said the Sellers at three-quarter time, Carlton's problem in this last quarter is going to be their tackling. They're still to lay a tackle 11 minutes into this quarter.
Pitnet tapped it down and Williams exits the centre square for Carlton. They need a mark. Casbolt's in the pack here. Punched away by Ruffhead, who's had a good game. Fogarty Roves, hand pass to Williams. He'll be caught! Holding the ball. Adams.
Great chase.
Tenacious to the last. Free kick Collingwood, and he goes to the half-back flank where he finds Crisp again. He's on defensive 50.
Crisp looking for Thomas. Sard pinched it, hit the ground running. Hand pass to Nunes. He's run out of options now. Tackled by Thomas, and he turns it over. Noble on half-back. Hand pass to Jack Crisp, who sends it to the wing. Trey Rusco in front, couldn't take the mark. Rob thinks he sounds like a NASCAR driver. I tend to agree with you on the SMS. Liam Jones will get a free kick.
He does.
I'd see him alongside Ricky Bobby.
Ricky who?
A shake and bake. Liam Jones at half back. Sends it long. No mark taken from Williamson, and it's spoiled.
What is it?
You're
Taylor
starting to
Adams.
sound like Rex Hunt, you.
If you're not first, you're last.
Exactly right.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
That's a great movie. One of Will Ferrell's all-timers.
Right on the top shelf for mine.
Yeah.
Boundary throwing out aside. The game's been good, and some of the levity as well from the listeners. Diving in, Williams knocks it out for Carlton. Gibbons, who's kicked a couple of brilliant goals tonight. He kicks to half forward this time. Cripps opposed to Howe. Howe edges him out. It gets to the back and goes over the boundary line on the attacking 50 for Carlton at left half forward. Carlton's been well down on a couple of occasions in the game and fought back but never hit the front. The Blues haven't led in the game since about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter as it's tossed back into play. Perhaps a win for Pitnet. Imagine a Rove. He's tackled, picked up by Williams. He's caught by Noble, took him on. Just got the hand pass out. Quaynor knocked it to Dacos. Off to Hoskin. Elliott clearing ball to the southern wing for Collingwood.
High kick. Free kick for a hold. Wiedering's going to take it. With no time to waste, he gets the hand pass to Martin, who shanks the kick inside the pocket. Paddy Cripps was there but couldn't take it. Nunes has a go at it. He's brought down by Jack Crisp. And also Will Hoskin Elliott for a ball up in the left forward pocket.
Tackle counts 60 to 35 or 36, and that's not enough for the Blues.
Can't believe Rammer's stat that Carlton didn't have a tackle in the first 11 minutes of the last term.
I don't reckon they've had one yet.
I still haven't had one.
Crisper's kick out of defence is spoiled out of play.
They've had one. Collingwood have had 8.
Who was it?
It was Ed Curnow, who had the only tackle for Carlton this quarter. 14 minutes in.
No surprises there, Emma. Grundy the tap down at half forward. Walsh taken without possession of the ball. Side gets it, gives to Crisp. Crisp, wobbly kick along the edge of the centre square. Up in front, Jones takes it. And a hand pass away. They need to pull the trigger. Plowman to Doherty, marks on the AFL logo. Hand pass to Williamson. Once his left boot comes infield, he's caught by Callum Brown. Got a hand pass over his head. Definitely does not possess a right foot. Doherty to Williams. Williams at right half forward. They want 50 for not standing the mark. Darcy Moore not penalised. Kick goes to the pocket. It's out on the full. Free kick Collingwood in the left back pocket. The Magpies just minute by minute.
You can't move and expect to have a free kick. Williamson moved.
It's just interesting watching Carlton when the whips are cracking.
I'm with you.
And we can talk about it after the game, but his first 15 minutes has been really ordinary.
How long to my check? It's spoiled out of play by Wiedering.
But they lose. It looks like they've lost their system. They've lost their dare, their dash. Look, albeit Collingwood have playing very well in this quarter. They're controlling the tempo, but Carlton,
Martin knocks it forward for the Blues.
Is that incorrect disposal?
Tyler Brown had a long time. He was spun the full 360. He's kicked to Sidebottom.
I don't get it.
Through his fingertips and goes out of play.
You can take that one out of the rule book.
I'm sort of with you, Rammer.
Holding the ball.
Carlton looking to go to that next level to be a finals team. You're just looking for the system as much as the talent, which they've clearly got plenty of.
Boundary throw in between the wing and half forward for Carlton. Grundy another tap down and a Rove this time. A hand pass to Crisp, who has been racking them up. He has a bounce, perhaps a second if he wants, near the interchange. Low kick instead. Mychek can't gather. Goes through his legs. Now got Wiedering for company. He's over the ball. He's caught. Umpire is having a good old look at this and deciding to pay a holding the ball. Wiedering's free kick. He's kept on trying. He's a bit banged up. The Carlton best and fairest of last year. He's at right half back for the Blues. Wants to move it with a low kick to Mackay. Beautiful pass in front of his eyes. He marks forward of the interchange. Wheels and goes. That's the only way for Carlton now. Wobbly kick. The outside of his boot. Good pick up. Williams infield hand pass to Dow. Dow back to Williams. Spins away from Quaynor. Deep kick. Cripps has a chance here to mark in the pack. Mackay back with a flight. Crashed it. Didn't take it. Howe gets it for Collingwood. Hand pass away to Madgen. Madgen over the top to Crisp at half-back.
Crisp has time to have a bounce. We've called that a bit in the last 5 or 6 minutes. His kick inboard is risky. It missed side bottom. Curnow gathers, squeezes the kick towards Fisher. Can he run onto it at 50? Gibbons just points to the goals. Fisher with a hand pass to Cripps to Gibbons. Set him up.
Been smashed.
And in the back in the end.
I like the attempt, though. You might as well get him. You're going to get him properly.
Crisp right in the back of Gibbons, so it sets up a shot on goal pretty much directly in front, 40 metres out. Gibbons, who kicked a couple of unbelievable goals in the first and second quarter, will now need to deliver the set shot to try and keep Carlton with a pulse here. He'll start right in the middle of the centre square. Mason Cox on the mark just to make sure he clears the journey. Gibbons starts his approach. Crosses 50. Strikes it pretty well. Finishes it superbly. Can the Blues find a kick one more time? Collingwood's lead is cut back to 17. The Pies 15-9-99 to Carlton 13-4-82. 17 and a half minutes gone. Final term, Gibbons has 3.
There's still time, Sellers.
Oh, sure is.
There's still time. There's, over 7 minutes, over 7.5 minutes of actual playing time. So quarters have obviously gone very long, all over 30 minutes. So, that's at least potentially another 13 minutes of time here, Sellers. They're good enough.
They need to get one out of the centre of the ground here quickly.
Yeah. They're a quick
one
here.
The heat comes on. Yeah. See what happens.
And you look at that. You look in that second quarter, they kicked 4 on the trot. You look in the third quarter, they kicked 3 in a row. Can they find that again? Can they find their period of dominance in this quarter now? Who's it going to be for the Blues?
There's 12 minutes to go. Long time.
Carlton has been 0-2 in the opening couple of rounds for the last 8 seasons. Can they do something about it? Casbolt out of the middle. Walsh tries to run onto it. Adams there with him. Side bottom picks up Fogarty. Got him. Defensive hand pass. Magin needs to clean it up. Had a fumble. Side bottom White. His hand pass.
Fumbling.
Adams had a fumble. Kerno picked up. Brushed Adams. Kicks inside the 50. Gibbons dangerous again. Back of the pack. Socket. Wobbling. Rolling. Oh, it's the leg break instead of the wrong end, and it goes through for a minor score. Carlton trailing by 16, 19-minute mark of the last.
Just don't give them an easy one.
Maynard to bring Collingwood in, runs his full measure, kicks along to the southern wing. Hoskin Elliott in from the side. Newnes spoils it down. Fisher trying to tap it to his own advantage. Noble in from the side. Taken high by Petrescu-Seton. Collingwood will take it at right half back. John Noble, of course, the son of North Melbourne coach David. He kicks towards Pendlebury on the wing, can't take the mark. Thomas crumbs it beautifully. Hand pass to Hoskin Elliott. Away to side bottom at right half forward. Kicks inside the 50. Myercheck up, lost it at his fingertips. Jones gathers. He's brought down by Myercheck. Has to knock it clear. Mason Cox falls over. De Goey somehow pinches it. He turns the full arc, squares the ball to Grundy, up with one arm, couldn't take it. Running onto it, Crisp. He's got an arm pinned by Williams. No whistle. Umpire lets it play. Fogarty with the hand pass to Kerno, and Carlton are out of defence.
Gotta go quick.
As Gibbons has it.
The full gamut of emotions being expressed tonight in the box and out on the ground and in the stands as well. Gibbons to Mackay, Mackay to Dow. Dow managed to mark. He's got Fisher over the top if he's quick. He's not quick. He's got it 50 from goal. Newnes a deep target. Fisher goes to him. Newnes can't mark. Back of the pack. Noble escorts it through. A rush behind. Oh, this is a thrilling contest. A 15-point lead to Collingwood. We've just ticked into time on of the last quarter.
And that is footy in 2021. Carlton had it on a half forward, waiting for players to run into space. Couldn't hit the target of Newnes. Collingwood take a deep breath. Howe out of the back pocket to Roughhead. Collingwood by 15 points. Around the boundary line to Tyler Brown. He takes the mark in front of the Carlton co-captain, Paddy Cripps. Brown looking to come inboard. No options present, so he drives the kick. Long towards Mason, Cox and Grundy. Casbolt in front. Grundy comes up. Cox comes up with a footy. Hand pass to Crisp. He feeds the hand pass to Dacos off the outside of the boot. Puts it towards Myercheck. To the battle with. And Jones got good support from Wiedering as he went back with the flight to take the mark.
Switches to Plowman in the left back pocket. Got Petrescu-Seton over the top. Petrescu-Seton needs to get his skates on. At left half back, he kicks to Ed Kerno, defensive side of the wing, southern side of the MCG. Collingwood leading by 15 points. A hand pass to Petrescu-Seton. Neat little kick. Setterfield marks. Setterwing out of side.
They can't kick mark here, Carlton. They've got to run. They're going to get handball receivers.
Setterfield told the play and turned it over, kicked it straight to Noble. John Noble at right half back for Collingwood. He kicks it back to the southern wing.
See, Collingwood want to kick mark, slow the game down, take seconds off the clock. Carlton there to kick mark, then give the handball straight to their runners.
Will Hoskin Elliott infield to Noble. Noble short. Pendlebury marks out of sight of the ground. Magpies 15-9-99. Carlton 13-6-84. 22 played of the last.
Goes short to Jeremy Howe. How's it on the southern wing?
They're happy to do this non-stop. Little chip pass here. Blues got to be ready for that.
Poked it over the top to Thomas. This is what Collingwood have done so well. Control possession, hit targets. Short now to Pendlebury. Possession number 29 coming up for him.
Another short one.
Crisp with 34. 25 for Sam Walsh.
This has already sucked a minute off the clock here. A really smart play by Collingwood.
Pendlebury to Adams at right half forward. Now the long kick inside 50. Cox the target. Jones spoils it down. Pitnet trying to tap it to the boundary. Crisp kept it alive. Thomas squeezes the kick forward. It comes to Cox to Goey for number 5. He snaps and misses. Across the face of the left-hand side. The Collingwood fans at the punt road end liked it. It wasn't to be. The Pies by 16 points.
4 goals, 3 Jordan Ngoe. That's his first score of the second half. Doherty, as long as he possibly can. Ben Graham kind of territory into the middle of the ground. Moore the punch. There's a free kick in the marking contest. Carlton want to play on, but it's not their ball. It's Moore's ball. Crowd posted at 51,723. Looked like more than that tonight. Moore kicks across towards the members' wing. Time running out for Carlton. Madgen kicks to half forward. Crisp is there. Doherty there. Doherty slaps it away to the advantage of Walsh. Inside hand pass to Doherty. Off to Casbolt. Back to Doherty. Quaynor coming the other way. Attacked the footy. Did well. Hand pass. Pendlebury runs towards the 50. Kick to the pocket. Exquisite. Hard on the boundary. Myercheck takes the mark. He's 30 from goal. Scott Pendlebury within millimetres of the boundary. Found his target. And Myercheck with a chance to seal the game for Collingwood. 2 tonight for Brodie Myercheck. To the punt road end. Spins the ball in his hands. Comes infield. Snaps. Curls. And kills off Carlton. 3 goals for Myercheck. The Magpies test it. But take him down, Carlton. 16-10, 106 to 13-6, 84 on Grandstand AFL and ABC Sport. We've ticked up to 25 played of the last.
Well played, Pies. Their last 10 minutes have been spectacular. If you want to kill off a side, just control the ball. Short passes around the ground. Pendlebury's had probably 5 or 6 possessions in that area as well. He's just a smart player when the heat's on.
7 for the quarter, Sellers.
7 for the quarter. So he's a very clever player to have in your side. Just slow him down, slow the tempo down. The Blues want to go quick, they want to go slow. And all of a sudden they work it down. There's no better hands to put it in than Myercheck. Myercheck's a really good player. Came from the VFA, Port Melbourne, and now is a star at Collingwood.
It certainly is. Grundy wins down the tap for Collingwood. Adams with another soccer off the ground. Can't get the clearance. Walsh still trying hard. Tackled by Adams, who then dives on the footy. Crisp tries to knock it out for Collingwood. Grundy's little topo can't clear the congestion. Start at the back of the centre circles. Up and under kick and then punches it forward. Gains 10 metres. Nunes onto it. Hand pass to Walsh. To Murphy on 50. Almost run down by Tyler Brown. Shot on goal is out to the right. And Darcy Moore sees it through for a minor score. 21 points, Collingwood's lead at the 26-minute mark of the final term.
1 goal 3 for the quarter they've kicked. 1 goal 3.
Maynard on kick-in duties. Runs through the left back pocket, goes towards Grundy at half back. Front position on Pitnet, brings it to ground level. There's a holding on free kick. Advantage almost paid to Collingwood as Quaynor looked to break.
So that's smart. He was his second year player, I think, Quaynor.
Yep.
And presence of mind there just to stop. Like a lot of the other young kids, ball in hand, I want a possession, but just realise the situation in the game. Terrible kick.
Grundy almost turned it over. Setterfield had it go through his fingertips out of play. Boundary throw in. Carlton's attacking side of the members. And that sound we haven't heard for over a year. The Collingwood chant going up around the MCG. Williams near the boundary, rows it for Carlton. Kick to half forward. Quaynor at the back again. Kick into the middle of the ground. Cleared everyone. Sard and Petrevski-Seton can raffle it. Sard runs away.
He turns on his left
Great
and kicks
kick.
to half forward. It was a great kick, and Gibbons marks. Turns and Casbolt's backpedaling in the pocket. Goes more direct than that. Mackay against two. Couldn't take the mark. Murphy front and centre. Dacos cannon into. Roughhead gathers. Hand pass to Tyler Brown. Back to Maynard. To Jack Crisp, who's just kept getting the footy all night. Possession 36 as he kicks towards Mychet. Wiedering flies in front and spoils it out of play.
It's 36 for the game. It's 14 for the quarter, Clinchy, for Crisp. 11 kicks, 3 handballs, 7 contested, 2 inside 50s, 350 metres gained in this quarter alone by Crisp.
Walsh throws it off the ruck. Contest gave to Cripps. Cripps to Williams. Williams inside 50. Kick. Moore nudged under it by Casbolt illegally. Darcy Moore. What a start to the season he's had for Collingwood. Be with us in the grandstand commentary box throughout the year as well. Switch of play to the back pocket to Quaynor. He comes out to right half back and Hoskin Elliott's. The team that lost tonight was going to have a tough road to try and be part of September. That team is not Collingwood. In a spectacle, the type of football that we all love to see, Collingwood overcomes Carlton by 21 points, and the storied history between these two. The Magpies go to the good on the ledger.
The Magpies name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
It really was a brilliant game of football to watch. Fast, aggressive, ball pinged from one end of the ground to the other. There were key forwards having good moments. There were key defenders marking. There were one-on-one contests. It was a return to the footy of years gone by. Collingwood winners over Carlton, 16-10-106 to 13-7-85 in front of 51,723.
Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barricades are shouting as all barricades shout. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
The Magpies led at every change, 18 at quarter time, 20 at the half, 9 at three-quarter time. Collingwood wins by 21 points, 16-10-106 to 13-7-85. Jordan De Goey kicked 4 goals for Collingwood, all of them in the first half tonight in his 100th game. Brady Mychet kicked 3. 2 goals to Jamie Elliott, who was a medical sub in the second term with an ankle injury. 2 goals also to Mason Cox. Singles to Dacos, Adams, side bottom Hoskin Elliott's and Rusco, who came onto the ground with the injury to Elliott's. For Carlton, Harry Mackay had a fascinating duel with Darcy Moore tonight. Mackay finished with 4 goals, 3 goals to Jack Martin, 3 goals to Michael Gibbons. You must find a replay of a couple of those goals that Gibbons kicked tonight. The first 2 were absolutely spectacular. Single goals to Fogarty, Fisher and Pitnet for the Blues, who kicked his first goal in AFL football. So the players are out on the ground. Collingwood celebrating its first victory of the season. The players mingle for their handshakes. 16-10-106 Collingwood, Carlton 13-7-85. We'll bring you the Collingwood song tonight. We'll get an interview as well at ground level with one of the Collingwood players. There's a fair bit to dissect. The performance of Collingwood, the performance of Carlton tonight, more broadly, the game and the way it was played. Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas. Let's start with the Magpies, who posted their first win of the year.
I thought they were fantastic. They were fabulous early. They really got into the game well. Darcy Moore and we talked about De Goey. They just dominated the game in the first half. Second half they went out of the game a little bit, and you can get to the merit of Mackay and also to Liam Jones, who worked on De Goey as well and changed that scenario completely. But didn't matter. to them. They had other players who come in. Crisp comes in. Darcy, Scott Pendlebury picks up his game after half-time. All of a sudden, he dominates the second half almost, Scott Pendlebury, with ball control and speed of travel of the ball, holding the ball. Where are we going to do now? Where are we going next? And mesmerises the opposition. The big question for me is, can Carlton handle the crunch time? The time when you are supposed to take control of this game, and do they have a clue how to do it, is one of the things that worries me about it. Who's the leader in this area? Who runs the show? What do you do? Do you slow it down? Do you rush it? I think they tried to rush it and push it and shove it, and their handball for mine to a person was always a little high and slow, which makes it easier for the opposition to tackle and chase. I find that was really poor in that area. Crunch time for them is not working. Crunch time for them needs to be improved. They need to work out what they can actually do in that area. They got enough talent to win games, no doubt about that. Sard comes in, Williams comes in, Walsh is tremendous. Paddy Cripps didn't have a great night tonight, but we know that he's a star. Doherty's a good player. Yep, sorry.
We're going to go down to ground level,
Sellers.
Interestingly, the Carlton players have, I think this is an oversight, but the Carlton players have left the field before the presentation of the Richard Pratt Cup. It's the 12th Richard Pratt Cup, the clash that raises awareness for prostate cancer. So let's go down to ground level and take in the presentation here. We should be able to hear from Scott Pendlebury hopefully as well.
2021 Richard Pratt Cup to Scott Pendlebury and Collingwood.
Scott Pendlebury's taking the Richard Pratt Cup, but is he going to say a word or two? I'm not sure that he is. He's just going to take it over to his teammates, and Collingwood, like Carlton, will leave the field. So I would suspect it's an oversight from Carlton, not necessarily anything more than that, but nevertheless a fairly ordinary look to not be out there as the Richard Pratt Cup was presented to the Collingwood Football Club. 16-10, 106 Collingwood, Carlton 13-7. 85. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's not a problem. But they don't know how to actually finish a game, and that's the problem with them. They don't know whether they should go really quickly or they should go slowly, or what they should do and how they should control the ball. But sometimes they try and rush it, and they do all those things. It happened again last week, the same thing. And then you come up against the guys like Adams, who is just a tremendous player in the middle of the ground. Hoskin Elliott, side bottom, started to find some form late. If we had a look at him, Jeremy Howe started to get his hands on the ball as well. There's a few other people in that side, and I love what they're doing, Collingwood, at the moment. This is a very, very balanced team. Mason Cox comes in and starts to run the show in the second half, especially the last quarter where he took 2 or 3 marks and actually created hell for the Blues. Carlton kicked 1 goal 3 in the last quarter when they need to kick a score. That for me is an issue and a problem going forward. I'm not certain they got the right balance, especially down back. Their defence is not really strong enough to hold the big boys. Rammer.
It looks tall.
It does look tall, but it also looks small when you have De Goey pushing around with some of those guys. You know,
this is what I'm getting at. Like, obviously Jones and Wiedering are very good defenders.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now Plowman's expected then to play on that sort of medium forward, where he probably likes to play a little bit taller.
Well, he played on Mason Cox. That was a lot taller in the last quarter, and that's where he took marks again. So De Goey kicked 4 on him, and then Mason Cox kicks 1 or 2 on him. So where do you go with him?
It was the response Nathan Buckley would have wanted, though, wasn't it? After last week against the Bulldogs, everyone wondering, where does Collingwood sit? Was that an aberration, or is with a couple of players like Stevenson and Treloar leaving, is that where Collingwood's at? And tonight with 16 goals, they showed that at their best they're still up there.
See, with Stevenson and Treloar going, they lose some of their speed. There's no doubt about that. But the criticism of Collingwood last week was their ball movement. Well, and it was very difficult for them to get their hands on the ball last week. The Bulldogs dominated possession, but tonight there was a clear change in the speed of their ball movement. You look when Moore and Howe and those guys were getting their intercept marks, they were gone straight away.
Sure.
The ball was into the middle of the ground before you knew it, and that allowed then the speed of movement. The first half, Collingwood's forward line looked unbelievable. De Goey was on fire. Jamie Elliott, before his injury, was on fire. Myercheck was a real handful, obviously, for the Carlton defenders. So that looked terrific. Carlton then hit back, obviously, in that third quarter, 4 goals to 2. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there going, okay, we've got a game on our hands here. It was 11 points 9 points at 3-quarter time. Then you're looking, okay, who's standing up now? Who's standing up in this last quarter? You look at Collingwood. Chris, 14 possessions. Massive last quarter. Jeremy Howe, massive last quarter. 8 possessions, 4 intercepts. Pendlebury, 7 possessions. Terrific last quarter. Their leaders stood up. Carlton, on the other hand, they didn't have anyone want to take the game by the scruff of the neck in that last quarter.
So Jack Crisp, with his 14 disposals in that last quarter, he's still going to pop up the race and have a chat to us on Grandstand AFL very shortly. But the Collingwood Football Club, very happy to record a first win of the season, 16-10, 106 to 13-7, 85. Let's take you into the rooms. The Magpies over Carlton by 21 points in the end. So now Collingwood 128 wins, Carlton 127, 4 draws in their 259 games played dating back to 1897. It's an extraordinary record. Just bringing you up to speed with what happened in the NRL tonight. So the Penrith Panthers won 12-10 over the Melbourne Storm. A try inside the final 2 minutes was converted with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. And Penrith got over the line against the Storm, who had a last-second try disallowed after the video ref agreed with the on-field call that Justin Olam's attempt was held up and not grounded over the line. So the Storm, a consecutive defeat, or a second consecutive defeat for the Melbourne Storm after they won their opening game. Let's go down to Tim Hodges on the boundary. Hodgie.
Well, Jack Crisp, thank you very much. You've just sung the song and come up to join us at the top of the race. 36 possessions, the most on the ground. You must be very satisfied with your own performance, but for the team to get the 4 points, what sort of relief is that for everyone after the week you've lived?
Yeah, obviously it's very good. We knew both teams coming in 0-1, obviously a tough way to start the season. We needed to bounce back and we felt like we were able to do that. It was a fast-paced game, but yeah, they definitely put the pressure on a few times, and just our back six has been incredible. Both games so far been held up like that.
I'm sure the boys upstairs will ask you, the fast-paced nature of the game, it was awesome to watch. Do you get a sense out there while it's happening that this is a damn good game of footy and it's being played at a breakneck speed?
Yeah, well, obviously the crowd really helps. They're great to have back when they're roaring over every possession, but you can just tell, like, one team gets an overlap handball, then all of a sudden it becomes a transition game, and then that makes those big plays with the big spoils, the big tackles, like, so much more, just makes it so much more awesome to be a part of, and then you can see how important it is in this game now.
It's awesome to have Jack at the top of the race for us. I'll send you upstairs Adam Ramanaskis and Mark McClure.
Hey, Jack, well done and congratulations. I thought the game was fantastic, but your last quarter was well controlled, and and penalty was really the orchestrator of that, and yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously that third quarter, they did put a lot of pressure on us, especially through the centre and all that stuff. So being able to rely heavily, Jordan Roughhead and Darcy Moore was so good down back with the aerial stuff, and then it was be able to get back, help out that number, and then find the. Hang on, sorry, they're sending John Noble in the background there.
Doesn't matter, keep going.
But yeah, just once we win that aerial and find the mark coming out of defensive 50 to help control the game, really helps set us up going forward.
So, Jack, it looked evident to us up here in the box that you guys wanted to move the ball quicker than you did last week, than you have done in previous seasons. We're so used to seeing you guys control the tempo, controlling whatever speed that you wanted, but particularly that first half, every opportunity, particularly through the middle of the ground, you were playing on, you were taking the first handball receive, you were getting inside forward 50. Was that spoken about last week after the Bulldogs game, to try and move the ball quicker, considering what now we're facing with new rules?
Yeah, it's also something we've practiced over the pre-season. It's been well documented. We're a good defensive team but couldn't put the scoreboard pressure on. So we're trying to obviously keep our defence intact, but kick more goals this year. So they look face forward and quick hands every now and then to get the ball going, and it's to help give our forwards a chance and put the opposition under pressure, and then hopefully lock it in our forward half and then create more score.
So then on the flip side of that, when the opposition are moving the ball forward, obviously now you're playing a lot more up on a wing. We're so used to seeing you play across half back. Are you allowing them to move the ball so you can fold back and help out your defenders, or are you still trying to put that pressure through the middle of the ground on?
No, we're still trying to put that pressure through. With our setup, we've got obviously certain roles that will play more defensive than others. But I think the mix that we've got at the moment is going really well. It's allowing our forwards to put our pressure on and making sure we hold great shape behind the ball.
Jack, you've got really good young kids there. Some great young kids, and they're making a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we had a big list turnover, obviously, last year, and all the first years that have come in, they've been putting their best foot forward to train and put a lot of pressure on the senior guys. So it is great competition for spots, and I think we've got a bit of a healthy list at the moment. So it's really good to see, especially this early in the season.
Collingwood midfielder Jack Cripps is with us on Grandstand. Jack, it's Matt Clinch here. The battle with Darcy Moore and Harry Mackay, it felt like a battle within a battle. I don't know if you're aware, but Darcy sort of had 18 intercept possessions. And
is that how many? Well, yeah. I knew we had a lot.
It was such an enjoyable battle to watch. Are you able to appreciate that as the game's taking place? Or
yeah, of course. Yeah, you see there's a lot of one-on-one wrestles, and one would fall, then the other would fall, and all of a sudden someone else has got up, got a fist in there. So no, it was fantastic, and obviously with the pressure and fast pace of the game at the moment, it's going to give the forwards a fair bit of a chance, and probably more. You'll see more one-on-one contests, so it'll give the opportunity for those key defenders and key forwards to have a crack at each other.
So, given you've known Darcy for such a long time at Collingwood, what's improved the most in his game, do you feel, over the last couple of seasons?
I think obviously he's just so athletic. He's got such a long reach and closing speed as well. So, and he's tall, he can jump high, he can do everything. But I think it's just the confidence in his body as well. He's not no hammy issues or any other lingering issues I don't know about. But he's just playing with confidence, flying for everything. He's clunking his marks, he's getting his fist in there for a spoil, and then he's taking the game on with his drive legs, run and carry as well.
So you've had obviously 2 goes at it now, a win, a loss, and then you've had 2 goes through a pre-season. We're loving it. We're absolutely loving what was like 29 goals kicked tonight. It's like, oh, wow, football's back to where it was. Do you think the speed can be sustained throughout a whole year like we've seen?
Well, I guess we'll find out. I know maybe some older blokes might pull up a bit sore, but I think the teams have trained enough around it. Teams have plans in place whether they rest blokes forward or extra time on the bench when they come off. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, there's no soft tissue injuries and all that stuff throughout the year and everybody pulls up fine. But it is good to see that there are a lot more goals being kicked and a lot of energy back in the stadium. It's good to see so many people at the G tonight as well.
And Jack, despite the win, the downer was Jamie Elliott. Is there sort of any reaction in the rooms as to how bad or hopefully how good that might be?
I've got no idea at the moment. I saw him briefly at half-time when we had our team meeting. He's obviously had his boots off and was feeling a bit sore. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
And Jack, one last one for you. Thursday night to the Gabba to take on Brisbane. Within you, personally, being a former Lion and now at Collingwood, is there any motivation at all when you play your former team, or is it just business as usual?
I think now I've been away for 7 years now, so it's just business as usual. But obviously, they're a very good club now, and this big Easter Thursday clash. I'm looking forward to getting back up there again. It's not like I played there much last year, but I missed the ground. But it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Great to chat to you, mate. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, well done.
Jack Crisp with us on Grandstand AFL after Collingwood defeated Carlton 16-10, 106 to 13-7, 85. Touched on Collingwood just a little bit.
I was going to say, Thursday night footy's just going all right, isn't it? Carlton,
Absolutely.
Collingwood this week.
Who's up next week? Brisbane.
Collingwood and Brisbane.
That'd be huge.
Brisbane, they've got Geelong tomorrow. So
one of those two is going to be 0-2. Haven't won there for 13 years, the Lions.
That's a fascinating one. And then, Brisbane could be 0-2 against Collingwood 1-1. Great start to the season.
Yeah, 2003, the last time they won down at Kardinia Park, Brisbane, and they've won only 3 of their past 23 against the Cats. So it's a great test for Brisbane. If they are really flag chances this year, they have to find a way to win away. And they had that rails run a little bit last year.
A pretty slow start last week. Against probably a side that they thought was going to finish 18th in the competition in Sydney. They're certainly not going to finish 18th, are they?
Significant turning point for Collingwood tonight, though, in the psychology around the club as well, because We know that Nathan Buckley's out of contract at the end of the year, Collingwood being such a big club. The noise builds. It really builds around the Magpies. We'll come back to that thought in a moment. Tim Hodges has more news on the injury front from the Boundary. Hodgie.
Just an update from the Pies, and their media department is fantastic with us. Jamie Elliott has gone to hospital. So we reported earlier that the ankle was severely sprained, but there's no break there. He's going to have X-rays. There is a fear it could be a hairline fracture to his leg. So that's the fear from the club. So they're going to sweat on scans, and obviously after his horror run with injuries, he will be sweating on scans for tomorrow to see what they deliver, but hopefully it's nothing serious to that leg now that these are the main concern, not the ankle.
Thanks, Hodgie.
There's some concerns that might be on the.
I think
it didn't look good at the time.
Trouble
did it?
scale.
I think he might be in trouble.
Yeah,
he's going there for X-rays. They thought it was just a roll of the ankle. He's not going to hospital to have X-rays. So, yeah, look, fingers crossed, because he had a terrific pre-season, Jamie. He looked terrific in the opening 2 games.
Midfield, forward.
Yeah. So, fingers crossed for him.
So what's possible for Collingwood?
Look, I'm a believer, and I've always been a believer in Collingwood. You know, they've clearly got the talent there. You look, Chris, Pendlebury, Adams, side bottom as that midfield. Then you got DeGoey, Dacos as those X factor type players. Moore and Howe look terrific as defenders. I guess the question is really, can Brodie Grundy find the form of a couple of years ago when he was the most probably dominant, I won't say ruckman, I'll say player in the competition? Can he get back to that? If that's the difference, I think, between Collingwood being an absolute lock for the final 8 or sitting on the fringes of the 8.
And I guess Sellers, the WhatsApp group around Carlton would be active tonight, 0-2 for the 9th time.
I'm just looking at Sellers' phone. He's got 99 messages just sitting waiting on his phone.
I'm on a silly WhatsApp thing with these Blues people. It was 350 last week. Seriously, turn it off. And
he's got 99 notifications down the bottom.
Don't worry about it. Who cares?
You'll reply one by one, Sellers?
None I'm going to reply to, none.
You deleting that group?
I think I might. Yeah, I think I might just give him the jab. Anyway.
Well what did you say?
To me, I go, okay, Collingwood played pretty well, and they did a good job, and they do the things at the right times well, and Darcy Moore was great early, and they all that stuff. Pendle becomes good, and Crisp comes up. But are the Blues good enough? Are they an actual contender? Are they good enough to stand up in a final and win a game? To me, I say no. I say no. I don't think they have the structure right, or they don't have the balance right, or the game style right, because they sometimes rush and then they don't know when to slow and they don't know when to carry on. Do they have the character to win a game? Do they have the character to actually stand up in a game? And that's what worries me. And this has been going for some time. It's not just today. This is a long-term injury for them, if you think about it. Do they have what it takes to win a game of football? They had a chance to win tonight.
Yeah. They did.
And they blew it.
There'd be numbers around 30-point deficits around David Teague that I'm sure is going to get looked at closely, because they find a way to answer back. But how
I
they
don't
end up
know
in
if
that
it's
position.
Teague. I don't know if it's Teague. Or I don't know if it's the character of the group, or what they're doing with the group. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know what their next game is. I have no idea.
Fremantle.
Well, Fremantle, that's a winnable game for them. Okay.
At Docklands.
Yeah, Docklands. If that's not one, there'll be some fatigue, I think. Somewhere, not just Teague.
On the WhatsApp group.
Fatigue, no.
They need to do something for
Teague.
Teague.
Yeah, they do. But they actually, do you understand? They've recruited well. They've picked up a couple of good players. They've got enough talent there to win games, and continually they don't.
They're getting themselves first couple of touches.
They're getting themselves into a position, and this is last year as well, because there was margins like this a lot
all
last
the time,
year.
every game.
They're getting themselves into positions. Who is going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and own it and drive it? Like, you look at Pendlebury in that last quarter, he wasn't the leading possession winner. Crisp was the leading possession winner in that last quarter, but it looked like Pendlebury just controlled that whole quarter.
He did control the whole quarter.
He told people where to stand, where to move, where to kick, where to run.
So for mine, why wouldn't you put someone on Pendlebury?
No doubt.
And pull him up and say, hang on, this bloke's not going to control me. I'm going to control you. And stand up with some character. I don't care who the captain is or who the coach is. You just got to put someone on this bloke. And I would have said Mark Murphy, stay with him, don't let anyone near him. Mark Murphy's been a warrior, okay?
Yeah, he has,
He's
no
been
doubt.
sensational.
No doubt.
But he's coming towards the end, and we all know that, all right? So what are you going to do? Instead of him actually out in the wing trying to pick up kicks,
Lock someone down.
Lock someone down. That's the key.
I was going to say the same thing about Zach Williams having 20 disposals in his first game as a Blue, 10 clearances, but the days of Carlton having one player like a Paddy Cripps or someone to single-handedly turn the tide feel like they should be just about done.
So it's interesting, isn't it, when you think about it? What their defence is okay, but then it lets itself down in little areas at times. So do they work as a team, or are they not working as a team? And what are they doing especially? So, I mean, they have a mismatch because Plowman's on someone who's really he's not quite up to.
I just wonder with the Blues, they've said openly they want to be attacking, aggressive, speed, high tempo. I just wonder, after the first 6 weeks, the first block of games, we're going to be sitting here going, well, what are Carlton? Because right at the moment,
don't know.
The first 2 games, I'm unsure.
Yeah, me too.
I'm really unsure what I'm watching.
They had 60 inside 50s, 60 to 48.
Yeah, I know they had plenty of chances.
Enough shots.
That's what they want to do.
Darcy Moore and those guys.
Darcy Moore.
They were just fantastic.
We better get 3-2-1 in the AFL.
Just quickly, Darcy Moore.
Darcy will be
he's had 18 intercept possessions, and Jeremy Howe's had 10 intercept possessions.
Wow.
Yeah, I've gone one. Scott Pendlebury. His last half was just spectacular.
Awesome.
Just incredible. That's the leadership you need and want, okay? He's ended up with 30-odd possessions. He's had 10 contested. He's just controlled the game, and it was magnificent to watch. I gave 2 to Darcy Moore, who started the game off and set the game up by his intercept stuff at the back of the ground. Okay, the guy on him kicked 4 goals. I couldn't care less. He didn't win the game. They won the game. And Darcy Moore is turning into a star of a player. And I gave 3 to Jack Cripps because Crisp, sorry, my apologies. Chips. Yes, Crisp. I got it. At 36, and he had 15 contested possessions, and most of them were late. When the heat was on and when they needed to be won, there he was doing it for them. So for mine, Jack Crisp.
Well done. Crisps. You like your crisps? Crisp got a lot of it
be eating
tonight.
some on Saturday.
There's a lot of Crips and Cripses.
Yeah, it was tricky. We're going down the highway tomorrow night for Geelong and Brisbane at Cardinia Park, so make sure you tune in to Grandstand AFL. Absolutely. Mitch Duncan will be part of our call team. Mike from Carlton gets the last say on Sellers eating his hat. Ripper call, boys. Thanks. Perhaps an army helmet for Mark to eat.
It's a bit difficult.
What do you reckon, Sellers?
Actually, army helmet.
We'll catch you tomorrow.
Bit of steel.
Every minute.
Floats a double cut-out pass to John Ritchie's over.
Every game.
Backing up Terry Evans. See ya. Terry Evans streaks away.
Every moment.
Still going, Josh Papali.
Grandstand Rugby League is back.
Steps in field, goes into the end goal. Scores a try.
The 2021 NRL Premiership Grandstand Rugby League. On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio, and on the ABC Listen app. ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of netball.
One man who led the way last night, he got top votes from Brett Delidio, and the ABC Footballer of the Year is Tom Mitchell, the Brownlow medalist from a couple of seasons ago, and he joins us on the program. Tom, firstly, congratulations on last night.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. It was a great feeling. Obviously, a great come-from-behind win, and, I think for our group it's a really promising sign that we're able to show some resilience and fight out the game strongly and end up with the win.
I haven't seen anything at halftime like that, Tom, since maybe the Toon Squad, when Michael was able to hand around his secret stuff and they were able to overcome the Monstars at halftime when they looked beaten and out of it in Space Jam. How were you able to do it in the second half?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It was actually it was more of a mellow feeling in the room, so it was sort of hard to get a gauge on how everyone was feeling within themselves. But obviously everyone had a bit of fire in the belly from last year, and there was a bit of pride on the line. So I think the way we all responded in the second half was how we want to play our footy. So it was really pleasing.
Tommy, it's Lids here, mate. I'm sure that you said it was a mellow feeling, but within yourself, and I think Jommy as well, Jago O'Meara I'm talking about, you took the game by the scruff of the neck in that third quarter yourself, 17 touches, mate. Obviously, as a leader of the club, you felt like that was necessary for you boys to stand up.
Yeah, I think so. I think with such a young group, and it wasn't just Jago and I. There was a number of guys. I think Dylan Moore, one of our younger guys, he kicked three in the third alone, I think, and I think it was a collective effort. But yeah, I think with such a young group, we had 5 30-year-olds leave the club at the end of last year, so that sort of next generation of leadership, of which Jago and I are a part of, as well as James Walker, Liam Shields, and obviously Big Boy. We need to take it upon ourselves at times to help out the younger guys, just as the players before us did with us. So it's just sort of how it works in footy.
And your game style, mate, how much have you seen that change over the summer? Obviously, last year, I think everyone was kind of chasing the Tigers and get the ball moving forward and coming behind it, and manic pressure. What sort of changes have you guys made? I noticed a lot more dash from half back with CJ and Jars down there, Will Day as well, really taking the game on.
Yeah, no, those guys are all super. We're still, I think, getting a feel for it, as all teams are, with these new rules and how to best exploit them offensively and defensively. So I think it'll sort of unfold as we get a bit more game exposure. But yeah, the run off half back was really noticeable, and even the wingers, really giving the defenders easy options to release the ball from the pressure end of the ground. So it was really pleasing to see some of the training coming out into action.
2018 Brownlow medalist Tom Mitchell with us on Grandstand AFL Sunday. Corbin Middlemass and Brett Zelidio at Docklands. Tom Mitchell's on the line and Lauren Arnell's up in Brisbane, and I'm sure Loz has got a couple of questions for you, Tom.
I do, Tom. Great to talk to you, and well done on the win. You beat Brisbane at the MCG in round one last year, so it's 2 round one wins in a row. You mentioned the 5 30-plus-year-olds that have moved out of the team, and there's a new flavour of youth at Hawthorn. How do the 2 round one wins differ from year to year?
Yeah, well, last year was very different. If I reflect back on that was, I think, the game with no crowd at the MCG, so that was a pretty eerie feeling. And then, we went into the hub, so last year was quite unique. I feel as though this year, there's plenty of energy and enthusiasm within the group, and you can just sense it when you walk into the footy club. There's just, a bunch of young guys just wanting to get the best out of themselves. So wherever that takes us, I'm not really sure. Obviously, with a young team, we're going to have our ups and downs throughout the season, but it's good to get a win early. And, but the challenges are going to come, obviously, with Richmond and Geelong in the next few weeks.
And we've looked at, obviously, there's a big change with the quarter length and the difference in last year's shorter games. How much impact is it having on yourself and then potentially the younger players as the season grows older?
I think it's a part of AFL footy, a part of the challenges. I suppose being able to grind out, a long 4-quarter game, and they're generally the final type games you want to be a part of. That's normally how they go. So I think that's why you put in all the hard training throughout the off season and the pre-season to prepare your body and your mind to be able to cope with that.
Tom, talk to us about Connor Downey last night, who made his debut as the sub. There was no injury, and under the way the rule's written, it's only activated when there's a medical emergency. So as a result, he spent the whole night with the tracksuit top on and was reluctant to even join in the team's song in the aftermath. How did you handle that as a group?
Yeah, it was a bit of a bittersweet feeling for Connor. Obviously, to be selected just coming out of last year's draft in the 23 is a pretty impressive effort. Obviously, he would have loved to get some game time, but I think it's a sign of where he's at, that he's right in the frame, and I'm sure his opportunity to get some game time will come very soon. But I think post game the boys, it came up in our meeting, and everyone sort of credited him for the way he handled himself, but also for putting himself in a position to play the game. So I'm sure his time's going to come. He's got a great attitude and a great head on his shoulders, so he's going to be a long-term player for Hawthorn.
And just on your own body as well, Tom, you didn't play either of the practice games coming back from that shoulder hiccup. You had 39 last night, best on grounder in a Hawthorn victory. How are you feeling? Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Obviously didn't get much match simulation in, and sort of just crawled to the start line. But body's good. Shoulder pulled up well from last night, and I think what's helping me as well is that my leg is pretty much back to full health. So that was probably inhibiting me the last few years coming off that big injury. But I feel as though my legs, leg is better, which is a pretty nice feeling. Were you always going to play? If you asked me a few weeks ago, it would have been probably a little bit more hesitant. But as we got closer to the game, I passed a few tests and got a bit more confidence. And I was grateful to be a part of last night's win. Well done last night, Tom. It was a fantastic game of footy. What a way to start 2021. We'll see you next Sunday at the G up against the reigning premiers, the Tigers. Look forward to it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.